The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Stop! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, May 12th, 2025. This program starts now.
Sports
Are happening all around us, and we're incredibly lucky that we get a chance to chit-chat about all of them. The NHL is obviously in a great place with their playoffs. The NBA is spectacular. How about football? Always having drama, and actually, some rookie OTAs happen, and we got some things to say about the OT. Hey! What's going on? We'll take a little trip around the NFL to update everybody. Obviously, I had a match this past weekend in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri at Wrestlemania. Backlash versus Gunther for the good of Michael Cole, for the good of society. And I'll tell you what, I got into a fight with an Austrian man who's 6'4", 250 pounds. The body is a little battered and bruised. I believe, me and Gunther had a moment in time there where I think I showcased to him something that maybe he showed a little bit of respect. This was a big moment here, taking the shirt off, because everybody in wrestling understands that what Gunther has is a powerful one of those right to the chest. And I just want to let him know that I'm not scared to eat one of those if need be. We can certainly get into a fist fight. Shout out to Owen Hart there. A little bit of a reversal early, letting Gunther know I am also a... See, I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's from the film study. As soon as I saw this one, I saw what was coming. I wasn't able to... I think he was a little bit surprised. Boom!
Body.
Boom!
Sweet time.
That's a virgin. Yeah, I've been watching that a lot. Bang! I thought I gave a couple as well. This was an interesting moment when I gave him everything I had. He goes... Okay, get one. Come on! Boom. And then, yep.
Oh, shit.
Should have put my hands up. There was a couple different moments there where I should have done some things a little bit different. But he and I really got into it. I mean, that was a real...
Oh, yeah.
We fought.
Yeah.
We fought it.
Oh, yeah.
That
was a brutal battle.
Yeah, we absolutely fought it. I don't know how many people were in the crowd. I think I heard a number like 16,000 or 17,000 or something like that. I want to say thank you to all of them, because this won a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I was planning on going in like Mike Tyson, early knockout, try to win this thing. But yeah, that thing won a lot longer than I thought it was going to go. I laid in some kicks on him. I feel good about the strength of my leg. My entire chest there is the color of a tomato for a good reason, because he had been beating me down a lot. And him kicking out at one to my punt was certainly something. I mean, that was a moment for it was like I don't know what else I got to give to this guy, so I decided to just smack him in the face.
Sure.
And there was a lot of that happening, and at the end, Gunther showed a little bit of respect. Gunther showed an acknowledgement, I think, and I feel pretty proud of what I did for, not only myself, for Michael Cole, but for the good of society as well. Like, hey, sometimes you got to stick up to the big old bully. And to Gunther's credit, him giving me a little head nod at the end, I think he acknowledged what happened in there. And I think he actually was waiting, until it was on camera to be able to do that. If you saw him talking to the ref, I think he was asking the ref, hey, I would like the people to see this. I would like people to know this. And what an honor it was to get into that ring once again. What an honor it was to be a part of Backlash. What an honor it was to fight this guy, especially whenever it goes down. This might be, he might be in GOAT conversations whenever it's all said and done. And for Michael Cole, I'm sorry I couldn't get us to win, but at least I think the guy who was bullying your old ass around knows that we're willing to fight if we have to. It was a great weekend. Obviously, yeah. I mean, that was immediately after the match. Yeah.
Jeez.
And I think the angle there kind of doesn't give my shoulder or my arms much credit, and I didn't even think about that, obviously, as I was piecing it out there. But you see on my arm, there's a little something there, and obviously up on my... Right now, still, I don't know, Foxy, if you want to zoom in a little bit, we still got a little We still got some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's still some. There's still some bruising. There's still some stuff around the chest a little bit. I didn't shave the chest because I thought the hair maybe could provide a little bit of a little bit of protection. I'm gonna go shirtless against this guy, but maybe the hair will help me out. I think Gunther knows that he was in a fight, and mad respect to him as well. And anybody that steps in there with him now, I think I have a little bit different perspective.
Yeah, sure.
About what it is.
Got in there.
God, I had to get in there.
Yeah.
I almost had that thing won.
You guys beat the hell out of each other. That was so physical. It was unbelievable in there.
So as a commentator and as a wrestling fan, those style of matches happen a lot. Not a lot. I guess those style of matches happen. And when they happen, it's not until like 7-8 minutes in where I think everybody realizes like, oh, these dudes are just beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
Like that is what it was. And I'll tell you what, that's the first time ever in one of those. And then we were 7-8 minutes in there, and I was like, we're just beating the hell out of each other. We are just beating the hell out of each other here. And in my mouth, I was like, I never tapped out. I kept saying that.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments in there I was like, not a bad idea. Maybe just say, I made my point. I made my point.
See why.
Ref came over. Dan came over a couple times. He was like, are you okay? And I was almost like, no,
Colin.
No, I'm actually not. And a little thing in the back of the head was like, you can't quit. Like, dude, let's get into this. He ends up choking me out. I thought we had him though.
I know.
Michael Cole comes in like Bobby Heenan back in the day with Rude and Warrior holding on there. I mean, that was that's Michael Cole knowing the game though, by the way, knowing the business for as long as he did. And he had that choker on me. I thought I was going to get out. I thought I had him. And then he says, we go back.
Hey, you did do that. You pulled the lever.
I did. I went straight for it. I went straight for it a couple times. Early, I got it out. Then I get to the ropes, and I thought that was a break.
Didn't care.
I don't know the fucking rules here.
Yeah.
I got to the thing. I thought that was a break. He chops my arms down. My arms disappeared from the ropes. I thought I didn't know the rules well enough, apparently. Chops my arms out. Boom. I'm going up over top. I'm like, I thought.
Time out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's break this thing
Give me a
up.
breather here.
So maybe we do have a little thing that we can maybe contest the outcome. Nonetheless, I think he understands that me and Michael Cole are just there trying to do our jobs. And I think if you ask Gunther, I think he would say, you know what, not a bad fight there from commentator Pat. And like I said, it was an honor to be a part of a card, especially with Cena, Randy Orton, turned into R-Truth making an appearance, that entire thing. How about, did you see all the RKOs that Randy delivered?
That was back to back to back.
Hurricane, boom. Jamie Noble, boom. Boom. All of them just kind of eating it. That crowd was loud. Mm-hmm. That crowd was cool. I think the first chop popped both of my eardrums.
Sure.
The sound.
What happened?
Because it is startling.
And it might reverberate through your eye.
Yeah, and I'm surprised my nose didn't just start pumping stuff. It was startling, though. Like when that thing hits you for the first time.
Wow.
You see it from the table, though, so much.
Can see it, you can feel it.
Much louder.
I think through the TV you could feel it every once in a while when he does that. And from the commentary table you could see it, hear it, and you think you can feel it. And then I was coming off the ropes to give him a big one. And what I realized there is, wow, I'm pretty exposed here.
Yeah.
And he took advantage, didn't he? He certainly did.
And the sound, think about how much close you are in perspective to when you are at the commentary table. Yeah, you're right there.
I mean, that is
It's much louder there.
That's right there. Let alone if you talk about the one that was up here on my collarbone.
Exactly.
Damn near broken.
I didn't know we were attacking collarbones here.
Yeah, what is this?
I think that's against rules too, right?
That might hurt his fingies. I got a pretty stern,
Good collarbone.
pretty good collarbone up here from what I learned.
Below the belt shot.
I'll tell you what, chest burning, obviously, neck hurting.
Sure.
From holding head up from whenever I was getting my ass beat. Back.
And it's getting.
Boy, and getting raked. I didn't even think about
and arm itself.
how bad that had to hurt. Back, pretty sore.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, hips, not good either.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't expect knees, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both of them are problematic. I was able to find a Toradol.
There you go.
Just an extra Toradol that was laying around from the old NFL days.
Money.
Before don't think it would have got through it without it.
Money.
Now, that was not from the WWE people, obviously. Of
course.
And I did not tell them that was the case,
Sure.
but I did happen to dabble into a. What are you? Oh, the fucking golden one.
Old friend.
You need that.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Hope you checked the shelf life on that thing.
I didn't, and who knows what it did to me. But yeah, it was fun to be. That one hurt too. Yeah.
It
I
looked
forgot
like
that happened until right now while I'm watching this, and that one That one will wake you up a little bit and then make you be dead. Oh. That was a moment where I thought maybe I should.
It's a lot.
Call this one quits.
That's a deep crab.
I was gonna say that Boston crab. I don't know how you withstood that.
I mean, he's sitting on my ass. I was wondering why my hip flexors were sore. Now it makes sense.
Yeah,
This guy was literally stretching it out there. Michael Cole, you could give up, he was telling me. I'm like, oh, fuck you, Cole. That's literally what I...
That's what he was saying on the headset a lot.
Just get it over with, cuz why are you doing this? Just pin him.
Yeah, and then I think... Does he start elbowing me in the face here? I didn't think I was really expecting.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He started laying him in there, just beat me down. It was quite a night in St. Louis.
You're bad about those.
Didn't get the win, but massive respect to Gunther and everybody that was in St. Louis. Thank you for the love. What a night. My chest will never forget it.
That's right.
Neither will my neck, or my knees, or my back, or my hips. You might as well just go down. My big toe also, I don't know what happened to that.
Let's not forget your internal organs either.
Yeah, who knows about the bleeding that's happening inside of me, but I guess we'll find out. And I'll tell you what, I walked in here today. I saw sunrise.
Hell yeah.
I did survive.
That's right.
Amen.
You did.
Fought like hell.
Another day.
Popped the blood in my eye, my left eye. You want to zoom in? Left eye, popped the blood vessel in there sometime.
Great battle wound.
When did that happen? Who knows? Could have been any time.
Yeah.
That might have been the first chopper. My whole body goes, what? Yeah. Explodes out there. So I took a lot, gave some, and now we move on. Sports are fantastic. Let's go to the Talks Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con, man, you look awesome. Big night.
Thank you very much. Yeah, huge night. Green runs deep here. Celtics, Knicks, Game 4, basically Game 7.
One half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys AP Toner's here. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. We just saw Connor dressed up like a Celtics mark. Obviously, that is what he is. The reigning champions are certainly in one here with the Knicks, or are they all the way back? D-Butch, what's going on with basketball? What's happening in the NBA? Catch people up, shall we?
It's a huge game tonight for Boston Connor's Celtics, and he pretty much said it was Game 7 before we went on air, and it pretty much is. They got their first win this weekend on Saturday over New York. Finally kind of got back to themselves from behind the arc at least. Went 20 for 40 behind the arc. That's 50% from three-point land.
Well, that's good math,
with UConn, Big East Championships baseball as well. But kind of got back to themselves. So we'll see if they can kind of get fully to form. Still haven't seen Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown kind of have performances that we're used to. Big time in the playoffs, so now it's really nut-cutting time starting tonight once again. See if they get another win to kind of get it back to square one, 2-2 against the Celtics. Been an absolute battle out there. Also on Saturday, Minnesota. Minnesota took the 2-1 lead over the Golden State Warriors. Big, huge second half from Ant-Man. Went for 36, I believe 28 of those in the second half. And his running mate, Julius Randle, he had a triple-double as well, 24-point triple-double, so great.
He messed around, got a triple-double.
He did, messed around, got a triple-double. I forgot who it was who came on and said when Steve Kerr kind of went out there and had everybody playing, trying to figure things out, almost kind of just threw that game to the wind. This one, Jimmy battled. Jimmy put up a big game. Kuminga actually put up 30 as well, but just wasn't enough to get over Ant-Man and the Timberwolves, so they go to a 2-1 lead. And then last night, Mother's Day, OKC, they go and tie things up against Denver. Now, SGA hasn't really looked like himself. I don't know if it was the altitude. I don't know what it was out there with OKC, but haven't really looked like MVP SGA thus far. But he had 25, 6, and 6. And then on the other side with the Nuggets, kind of struggling. Joker has been struggling the last 3 games, specifically 33%, averaging 21 points. That is very un-Joker-like. His turnover to assist ratio is not there either. Some people were saying Denver aren't playing enough players. Really have a 6-man rotation, which is really tough, especially when you're playing against a deep team like OKC. But they're battling. They're back to 2-2. Big-time game from OKC. And then last night, the Pacers.
Wow.
I mean, just an absolute ass beating. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he was the best player in this series coming into this game, averaging over 40 points a game.
What happened to him.
But Halliburton, he had a stinker one game, but he bounced back. The whole team bounced back. I mean, they played pretty much this game was over at halftime. They went into halftime up 40 points. Played pretty much a perfect first half, and then ended up winning this thing by 20 points to take a commanding 3-1 lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers. The 1-seed Cleveland Cavaliers, which a lot of people had question marks about them at this point in the season. Could they really get over the hump? And then on the flip side of that, nobody really gave the Pacers that respect. But as you see them play night in and night out, you can see that this team can go out there and compete and beat anyone they line up against. And big games tonight, obviously with the Celtics and then Minnesota at Golden State as well.
Yeah, Pacers, Obi Toppin had a massive night. It feels like each night there's maybe somebody different, you know, and that team obviously rallies. They understand they got their asses beat on Friday night. Tyrese Halliburton, you talk about laying a stinker, absolutely. And that felt like that was kind of the story of Game 3s.
Yeah.
You know, that teams are just finally getting their get back. And then they had to sit on that for a few days. I listened to Miles Turner chit-chat after the game. He was doing an interview, and he said, we got ripped. Yeah, we got absolutely ripped after Game 3 by Carlisle. Carlisle was not thrilled. Even after last night's big win, Carlisle was like, I don't care. This is Game 7. We got to keep it moving. Mindset is a championship mentality in Indiana. We might be staring down parade season here.
Yeah.
We might be staring down parade season here in Indianapolis, and obviously it's a great group of lads. And Pascal Siakam just has this ability to control his body. And he doesn't get talked about because he's like quiet. I don't think he really causes much of a problem, ever talks about anything. He gets traded from Toronto to Indianapolis last year midseason. Is a huge burst for us. He was an all-star this year. Tyrese Halliburton was not an all-star because the first half of the season, Tyrese, I think even by his own words, self-admittedly played like ass. And then after the all-star break, Tyrese started hitting. They all started hitting. Hottest team in the NBA since the all-star break going through, and that has seemingly continued. They're up 3-1 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. You talk about Donovan Mitchell. They showed him at halftime whenever he was warming up. They were down 40 or whatever. This was scary looking. Now, allegedly, he had been dealing with a calf injury throughout the entire series. It wasn't serious enough to really chat about it. Last night, they reported that it was an ankle injury. Whatever it was, looked bad. And when nobody's around and you get hurt, obviously those are the most scary. Joining us now is a man who might have some more answers on that and everything else happening around the NBA. Remember, draft lotteries tonight.
Here we go.
Team's got a 14% chance. Joining us now, senior NBA insider for ESPN, ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, Shams Charania. Whoa, Shams, you look good, brother. You look very good.
Pat, were you recovering from the Toradol injections while the Pacers and Hallie were going up 3-1? Is that what was going on Sunday?
Well, Toradol injections, interesting. I found a pill. It sounds like you're in the middle of a gymnasium. I'm happy that is the case. Nice little echo there. Yes, yesterday was a tough day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We appreciate you doing it all the time. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Happy Mother's Day to Sam's mom. Happy Mother's Day to Sam. Happy Mother's Day to every mom out there. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, this is a little different Mother's Day for me than in the past. I was in a bad spot.
Yeah.
I was in a bad spot. As this Toradol was, as vitamin T, as we like to call it, was kind of wearing off. Obviously, the body starts feeling a little bit more. But we enjoyed Mother's Day. We enjoyed what the Pacers did. We enjoy where the association is. Okay, so where should we start? Do you want to start with tonight's draft lottery, Shams, or do you want to talk about everything else happening? Because Utah Jazz, obviously, are in the mix to become #1 overall pick. There are numerous teams that could potentially change their entire franchise becoming #1 overall pick to get Cooper Flagg as you potentially get an updated news briefing right there. Shams, what do you think we should be looking for the draft lottery tonight? How do you think this goes off?
Yeah, there are a bunch of layers, I think, intertwined. I think you look at the draft lottery tonight, it's about who gets #1. So the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes are very much underway. And then Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, this is a deep draft overall. And I think you definitely look at the top of the draft, and Cooper is the eye of the storm on this NBA draft. So that's where everyone's eyes are at right now. And along with all that, I think Cooper is the topic of everything, but Giannis Antetokounmpo and where he ends up, I reported this morning, for the first time in his career, he is open to exploring potential options outside of Milwaukee. And he's talked over the last few years, Pat, about, if I feel like Milwaukee's not a place that can win a championship. He's like, he said on his brother's podcast last month, Thanasis Antetokounmpo's podcast last month, that if I don't win a championship again, he's not going to be able to essentially sleep at night after he's retired.
Forever?
And so I'm very interested to see what happens with his future. I'm hearing like a bunch of echoes even in my ears.
Yeah, it's a lot. We're probably just going to FaceTime you here actually after you give this answer.
Yeah, I think he's the one that all 30 NBA teams are keeping an eye on because he's 30 years old, in the prime of his career. For a player like that to potentially be available, there's going to be 29 teams calling the Bucks. You're going to see teams that are in this lottery tonight that could be moving up, depending on where they end up in this lottery, could have some ammunition to go after a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he's spent 12 years there. We know how extremely loyal he is, but that's a Bucks organization now. They just don't have many ways to really improve this team to being a true championship contender.
Okay, we'll continue a follow-up on the Greek Freak. We're going to FaceTime you so that this doesn't sound as fucking terrible as it does right now. Obviously, on the massive draft lottery evening and NBA playoffs night. Go ahead, Con, man.
Well, it's crazy him saying all 30 teams. Like, you would assume that even with like the Bucks, and he meant 29, whatever. But you'd assume the East, they wouldn't even consider trading him to a team in there. But could you imagine, he's obviously talked about the Celtics being a team that has to change a lot of stuff after the season. Like the Sixers, they have a chance to completely change their entire team just because they could trade, Embiid, Paul George, and their projected, top 5, top 7 pick, and then have Giannis and Tyrese Maxey. Like, that would completely change the Eastern Conference and NBA.
Yeah, I think from talking to you, Shams, earlier today, everybody's going to be interested in Giannis.
Everybody.
We talked to J.R. Smith last week. J.R. Smith is like, Giannis isn't as easy as just plug and play as like a shooter would be, because Giannis is going to take, like, that is a Giannis train that you were bringing in there. Teams are going to have to be prepared for that. He's obviously, ladies and gentlemen, joining us, Shams Charania. Shami, we appreciate you joining us. Now, we were just chit-chatting, and Connor laid out a couple teams. He was like, why not Philly? Maybe giving up Embiid and Maxey to try to get up there. Will tonight be the night that people will try to make moves for Giannis, or what are kind of the next steps here? Because I know it was breaking news this morning whenever you said that Giannis is at the point to kind of explore other options. We all assumed that was going to be the case, I think, with the way this has kind of been going. Would tonight be a night where those conversations will happen, or what is a timeline, a realistic timeline here for the Giannis movement to actually take place?
So what tonight is going to show us is which teams that get in the lottery positioning move up in the draft. You have a higher pick, a team that might move up from maybe being 7, 8, being higher, and possibly getting 1, 2, 3, and having more possible ammunition to go get and make offers to the Bucks for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So that'll be part of the picture. But this process with Giannis Antetokounmpo, that's going to play out over the course of this week. Why this week in Chicago at the draft combine is so important. All 30 NBA teams are here. All their decision makers are here. Giannis Antetokounmpo's representatives are actually based in Chicago. So naturally, there's going to be a level of dialogue and discussion that's going to take place all throughout the league, team to team. There's going to be a lot of due diligence that teams are going to be doing. And so this is an active exploration process for Giannis Antetokounmpo, from my understanding. And it's going to be one that I think you measure between now and the NBA draft in June. And I think by that point, there will be answers. And for a lot of it, it's like, what is the sensible path for Giannis, and where makes the most sense? If it is outside of Milwaukee, that's somewhere he's been for 12 years. He has equity there. But is there a place that gives him a few things? Long-term sustained winning. That's something that he wants. Does he have the ability to have that in Milwaukee? It's looking like probably not. But if it is somewhere else, where is that place? And I think another factor in all this, Pat, is if you are going somewhere else, is what co-star is there for Giannis Antetokounmpo that's in place? Because this is someone we saw in the playoffs this year against your Pacers. What did he average? Like 33, 16, and 7 or something? Like, his numbers are ridiculous. He was the only player in the NBA to average, I think it was like 30, 15, and 5 this year. And so I think that might be the only player in history to do that with those numbers. So Giannis Antetokounmpo is a one-of-one player. He's arguably the best player in the NBA. He's in the prime of his career. These types of players aren't, coming around often. And so the ability to get that for any team, that's in the forefront. That's in everyone's mind here in Chicago. I've been saying it since this morning. This is really the summit of Giannis Antetokounmpo that's going on here at the draft combine.
Okay, so we said we just assumed that this was going to happen with Giannis. That is not the case, I guess. That's why this news breaking this morning from you was such a big deal. And if anybody's giving you an update right now on it, you can certainly just say that publicly here, and you can read whatever text you're
What I'm working on right now actually is trying to get you guys an update on Donovan Mitchell. and his injury with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay, we'll be excited to hear that here further along the conversation. But for Giannis being on the move, we just assumed that was going to happen with the way the chatter was going. That is not a good assumption, I guess, that we had over the last week or so.
I mean, with these things, you just don't know because a player, there's always going to be levels of frustration right after the year that they had and the loss that they had at the end of the season. The way your Pacers won in crazy dramatic fashion, and it's like the one thing with the Bucks can at least wake up and say we're not the only team that this happened to. That literally happened to the Cavaliers earlier in this series against the Cavs. What the Pacers have done in 2 games this year, it's historic. And so, but the way they lost, the emotions from that, you kind of take some time to debrief. And listen, you have to say a lot about that relationship with Giannis in Milwaukee. He spent 12 years there. The relationship that the ownership group there has, John Horst, the general manager there has with Giannis Antetokounmpo, his representatives, like that all matters, right? And so the fact that now he's at the point where the exploration, the process of seeing what else could be a fit, that is what's I think the new revelation for team executives here in Chicago that they're now going to pursue.
Okay, so now his agent, if this is anything like football, his agents now will be pounding the pavement, seeing the phone, seeing what teams are potentially interested, and that's every team in the NBA, and is that how this process goes?
Well, I think every team in the NBA will certainly do their due diligence. Like, I think there's going to be some teams, even in this lottery tonight, that have been bottom dwelling. I'll just put it like not the Philadelphias, not the New, but I'm saying teams that, are at the bottom of the standings. Even they're going to look into a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo and see, can we bring him in? Because he has the ability, even in Milwaukee, if he stays there, he has the ability to make them a playoff contender year in and year out, just how great he is as a player. So, but the question is for him is he wants to compete for championships. He wants to be in the best long-term sustained place where he can compete for a second championship, and obviously probably not going to be with one of those bottom-dwelling teams, but all of them are going to look into a guy like Giannis.
Okay, sweet. We're excited to see what it is. Giannis, come to Indiana.
Why not?
Got respect for each other, obviously. Want to win championships, come to Indiana.
So Pat, what I can say, I can report it here now. Giannis is so much in my mind. Donovan Mitchell, the Cleveland Cavaliers All-NBA star guard. I'm told he had an MRI today. He's been diagnosed essentially with a re-aggravation of an ankle injury that he's been dealing with. So he re-aggravated his ankle, and I'm told it's expected that he's going to be a game-time decision for Game 5. So Donovan Mitchell had his MRI today, and my understanding is it's a re-aggravation of an ankle injury, and he's expected to be a game-time decision for Game 5.
I mean, that would be a devastating blow for the Cleveland Cavaliers, especially in a must-win game for them as the Pacers are up 3-1. He has been spectacular during this year. Obviously, he's been spectacular all season for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Against the Pacers in Indiana the other night, Connor went to watch him on Friday. He hung 40 up there, and it was like he was playing a different sport. Hopefully, he's okay. Now, as a Pacer fan, I'm very sorry to hear that about Cleveland. But he's going to be hobbled if he even plays, right? That's what it sounds like, and that's a big piece of...
I mean, the way he looks right there, I mean, it looks like he's in extreme discomfort. And the other thing, Pat, is I feel like, listen, shout out to the Pacers. They're taking advantage of the situation. That's what a lot of the playoffs is about, is matchups, injuries. Do you make the right game plan adjustments? For sure. Give them their credit. Back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, potentially. That's a big effing deal.
Yeah.
But you have to also make the point, like Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter. This is a Cavaliers team that has been absolutely ravaged by injuries at the worst possible time.
Okay, yeah. Donovan hung 40 on Friday. I understand what you're saying, and they had a lot of people playing. This is the way it goes. Just don't disrespect the fucking Pacers. Please. I'm sick of it. I'm done. This whole story last year. Oh, yeah. Now it's become a story. Yeah, injuries happen, and this sucks that it's happening.
That's what I'm saying.
Despite
it is super impressive for the Pacers.
Thank you.
To make it to the conference finals. And I gave them love the other day. What their front office has done, they're like eighth. They have the eighth. I don't want to say cheapest. They have the 8th lowest payroll in the NBA. To have the 8th lowest payroll in the NBA and to be in this position that they're in, I think to me it's just like you're scouting the right way, you're drafting the right players, you're trading for the right players, and shout out to the dogs in Indianapolis, because Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, those guys just love the game, and they go hard.
Yeah, they definitely do. Shout out to Kevin Pritchard, president of basketball ops there. He can find the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Dogs only here for the Pacers, and it's evident whenever they play. And maybe he goes and swoops around in the football world, too, over at West 56 for the Indianapolis Colts. We shall see. Kevin Pritchard doing a great thing. Pacers doing a great thing. Donovan, it sucks that you are hurt. You have been incredibly fun to watch. Hopefully he's back for Game 5. If not, hell of a year thus far.
Whoa.
I'm not. 96% of the time, I think, is what it is whenever you're up 3-1 in basketball, is ending up winning.
Put them away.
And the Pacers need to put them away. Sucks it could potentially be without Donovan Mitchell. Now, let's move to the other side of the bracket here for the playoffs. D-Butt has a question for you.
Yeah, I want to move to this Denver OKC matchup and starting and speaking on Joker. You know, Joker has struggled a little bit. Jokic, the last 3 games at least, 33% shooting percentage, only 21 points a game. What's going on there? And we're going to have any adjustments as far as rotation-wise, because he plays a ton of minutes, and I feel like they only really have like a 6-man rotation out there at Denver, opposed to what OKC has when they're playing pretty much the whole squad. Any updates coming from Denver, and if they're going to change any rotations?
The one good thing that I think Nuggets fans, DB, can look at is like Nikola Jokic. He's struggling for sure, but he's not losing his aggressiveness. He's not losing how he's interacting with his teammates. He's not sulking. Like he's as active as ever. And so that is the one saving grace. I trust when you look at players like Nikola Jokic, I trust that he'll snap out of whatever rut he's in. Same as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's of course he hasn't played up to the 30-40 point potential that we saw from him in the regular season. But those guys are so great. I think they'll snap out of it. Denver has been playing for their lives for like 3-4 weeks now, 5 weeks now, from standing where they're going to be. Nikola Jokic has been playing through an elbow injury. He's been playing through a lot, and like the schedule, I know their coach David Adelman made a deal about it. I saw Charles Barkley said something about the scheduling. Them playing essentially 36 hours after their prior game for a veteran-laden team. That's probably not the most rest time you can get in a guy like Nikola Jokic. So I think everyone in Denver is just believing that he'll snap out of this, but that was a big win for Oklahoma City yesterday. Other guys contributed. Other guys stepped up. You had Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, J-Dub, Jalen Williams stepped up in some moments. So they're showing that they can win even when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander might not be going off for the 30-40 point games that we saw in the regular season.
Watching Oklahoma City win, it's like a nice reminder of like, this is why they were who they were all season. It was still tough for me to believe that Joker and the boys weren't going to be able to figure it out. Maybe that is the case. Maybe OKC is able to dance. Maybe they are the team of destiny.
I don't want to toot my horn. What did I say on, was it Friday or Thursday here? This series is going 6 or 7. Yeah. Now it's official. This series is going 6 or 7. I would not be surprised.
Wow.
And I don't even make picks. I don't even make picks.
Yeah, you say it's going 6 or 7. You might as well. You pick some games.
I would not be surprised if it goes 7. This is a series where Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. If you're Denver, you have a chance in any of these games with those two guys. And we haven't even seen Jokic really be that player. He hasn't shot efficiently. But again, the biggest thing for them is he's still He's still doing his thing.
He's been coaching, too. Everybody wants to be on the floor and on a sideline. I mean, what do you want from this guy?
Is he taping ankles, too?
Well, he's also the mascot. I heard he's doing halftime entertainment. I mean, there's a lot going on for the Joker of these pregame entertainment with the suit he wore. I like that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I like everything the Joker's doing. I wish he could piece it together, although I understand that Oklahoma City feels like they have a team that can maybe go on a run. Let's talk about the West. Great shit here. Great.
So cool.
This is what I'm talking about, Joker. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about.
That's a nice suit, though. That's a nice suit. I got to give it up.
Yeah, and Joker wouldn't normally do this type of thing. Wouldn't play these types of games beforehand. Dressing up like Heath Ledger, obviously from A Dark Knight, as the Joker. I mean, that is awesome. Everything that
That's my favorite movie, by the way.
That's
my favorite movie, by the way.
Banger.
But what's the quote about being a hero or living long enough?
You either live long enough to be a hero or you
either die
botched it.
A hero.
You either die a hero or live long enough to
see yourself. Become the villain.
Become the villain. Become the villain. There you go.
Favorite movie, huh?
Yeah, watch that one.
All right, Sean. Okay, let's stay in the West, shall we? Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Sean, I was looking at the other series. The Warriors still not playing with Steph Curry. I mean, that was unbelievable. You screwed that up so bad. People who haven't seen that movie know that quote. Just throwing that out there. But Steph Curry, is there any update on his hamstring? I saw a mic'd up of Anthony Edwards talking to Gary Payton III, basically saying like, "Hey, you guys are just trying to get to 6, so Steph comes back." Is that the case? Game 6, kind of shooting for that, and then also, how come Draymond is betting on the games?
Whoa.
Okay, he's not actually betting on the games, but how come there's this alleged?
Hold on. By the way, hold on. I got the line. All right, you either die a hero or you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
We see you reading it. Okay. Yeah, we just told you that we're past that, bro. Let's get back to the Golden State Warriors. You're an embarrassment to the NBA right now. Okay, so let's start with the last thing he said there about Draymond Green, though, because what he said isn't his actual feelings. That is just what was being said, especially whenever the clip comes out. Everybody knew that the spread was 5.5. Draymond Green is saying 5.5. I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. Is he talking about refs? What do you think Draymond Green is talking about here? And I think that is a big story, too. Everybody's saying Draymond's betting on this. I don't think Draymond's betting on this. I think Draymond's saying, hey, somebody knows what this line is. What do you think he's saying? Have you got any answers, and what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I just see what everyone is you can pick up through the lip readers all across the internet. I mean, clearly he seems like he's saying what he's saying, the 5.5. First of all, it's impressive that, I don't know, maybe I just don't even pay attention to it. I have no idea what that is. But clearly Draymond knew in the moment, and this is not the first or the last time that a player has, I guess, tried to intimate that the refs. There was a time where Rudy Gobert actually, other players go like this. They show the money sign to the refs, and they get fined by the league by essentially improperly kind of implying things toward the officiating. So not sure if that's what we'll see here on this. Have not gotten any word on that front. But as far as on the court and Stephen Curry, the Warriors are just trying to win a game here tonight because they have to extend the series as much as they can to try to get to a game 6. Because my understanding is, and I said this the other day here, is that's really the earliest, safe, healthy window for them to bring Stephen Curry back from a hamstring strain. He had a grade 1 hamstring. I'm told his progression going into today was really like jogging, some movement into his jump shooting over the weekend. And I think the next step is trying to get him to the point where he can run fully, sprint fully, cut fully, take contact fully. Until you get to that point, there's not a safe way to bring him back from a hamstring injury. And that organization has obviously, I think, been very measured and careful bringing back players from these significant, soft tissue muscle injuries. And Stephen Curry said the other day, this is the first muscle strain of this kind that he's ever dealt with in his 16-year NBA career. So I think they're going to take a careful approach. The next 2 days, I think, is to see, can you ramp them up into running and cutting and sprinting? But they got to win tonight. We're going to see a lot of Jimmy Butler. They're going to need more than just Jonathan Kuminga to step up. So you had Jimmy Butler have 33. Kuminga had 30. They need Gary Payton II, Draymond Green, Brandon Podziemski, Buddy Hield. They need another guy here tonight to have 20, 25 points and really bring some force to help Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga. Good luck to all parties. The spread tonight's 5.5, Shams. Just so you know, that's right there on the screen. So again? Yeah, it's again 5.5. And I appreciate that Draymond's that is very much in the Draymond Green character, I guess. I should have assumed this. Him looking at the refs going, I know what you're doing. I know what you are up to. I know what you are doing. I feel like that's a classic shit talk from a player who feels like they've even gotten screwed or something like that. And then in the NBA world, with what has happened decades ago in the NBA, what's that about? What was that? It was just a text. It was just a text, but we're up to date. That's called. Yeah, screen froze. We saw it. We're up to date on everything we need to know. Oh, everything we need to know. Okay, yeah. I'm giving you everything you need. Okay, don't you worry about that. What were you going to say there?
I'm pretty sure too. One of the refs was Scott Foster. I'm not 100% sure, but he's also he's one of the biggest heels in the NBA when it comes to referees specifically. So people were pissed about that.
I like Draymond talking shit to the refs because Draymond talks shit to everybody. Yeah, and he didn't look mad there, which is good.
No doubt.
Didn't look mad, which everybody was talking about last week. That was the big storyline. Let's keep it moving here. Ty has a question for you, Shams.
Shams, big game tonight, Celtics Knicks. It's kind of become the MO of the Knicks during the Tom Thibodeau era that they kind of just run out of gas. This is what happened last year. We all know how many minutes the starters play. And that was kind of the conversation this morning was, hey, 2 20-point comebacks in those first 2 games. But we kind of saw the Celtics get right in Game 3. Have the Knicks finally run out of gas? Like, did they kind of expend too much energy in those first 2 games? And does it feel like the Celtics are finally gonna kind of take the reins on this series?
Smitty, I don't think the Knicks. I don't think this is about running out of gas for the Knicks. I think it's Jalen Brunson said it. Like they got a little comfortable after getting up 2-0, and you have to bring a different level of fight now. And you saw the Celtics; they were playing desperate. And the scary part about the Celtics is we haven't even seen Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have like a breakout moment game. They both obviously played better in Game 3, but they're both shooting inefficiently so far in this series, and they know it. And I expect them to rise to the challenge. I expect them to have a breakthrough moment in this series, and that's what you're kind of guarding against if you're the Knicks. Is like we haven't even seen the best of their big two. Peyton Pritchard stepped up. Al Horford's playing big for them with Kristaps Porzingis sick. You're seeing a bunch of different guys, play heavy roles for them. So that's a positive. We're not seeing this team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think you can look at like they're running out of steam. And the crazy part is they balanced their entire season, watched minutes, did all the little things to make sure their guys would be prepped and ready for this time. Sometimes you just can't. Like that's what these playoffs are all about: is injuries, matchups, game plans, adjustments, right? Those 4 pillars. And you can't guard against injuries sometimes. And the Knicks last year got hit at the worst time. The Cavs are getting hit at the worst time. I think now you're seeing the Knicks. They're going to have to rise to the moment because they're healthy, all intents and purposes. Cat's been dealing with some finger stuff. But for the most part, this is a team that's ready. And obviously they're going to have a lot of pressure going into tonight because if the Celtics can even it up, going back, getting home court advantage back, it's like everything you worked for kind of being down the drain.
Celtics are favored by 6.5 tonight, Shams. There's a little piece of information for you to have as you go there. Quick thing on the Celtics here is we have somebody waiting in tow. Porzingis is dealing with lingering effects of a viral infection that has taken place. He's still playing, but nobody's worried about whatever he has spreading or anything like that. Do they know when he's going to potentially be through this? Because last time we talked to you, there was no answers. Doctors had no answers. Nobody had any answers on what was going on with him.
Pat, he's literally waking up every day hoping that he turns the corner and feels better. And I think, from my understanding, he felt like he was turning that corner right before the playoffs, and then he just had a crash. And so, again, I'm not a doctor, but from my understanding, what I hear is he dealt with a virus in March, and it was something that affected his energy levels. It zapped his energy. It's not COVID from what I understand. And he's been taking IVs. He's been taking immune boosters. I'm told he literally changed his entire sleep pattern to try to get more rest and sleeping, getting, way more sleep than he has in the past. And he felt like he turned the corner. And in his own words, he had a crash right before Game 1 of this series. And we haven't seen Kristaps Porzingis really be that anchor and the big factor that we've known him to be as a Celtic. So definitely something to keep in mind and monitor here.
Yeah, and now Horford starting at 38 is pretty wild. Has Kristaps Porzingis tried ivermectin, Shams?
All right, let's move along here. Somebody say a prayer for a P. That's what I think we need. And that's what it sounds like he's doing. Ivermectin, I heard, is it's been around for a long, long time. Award-winning, I heard. Award-winning.
Trying everything.
Yeah, I mean, that name got real hot there a few years back. What ended up being the... forget it. We don't need to talk about it. Let's talk about tonight's draft lottery. AP Tone has the last question for you here, Shams.
Yeah, Shams, real quick, real easy. Which team is the lottery rigged for tonight? Is there any frozen envelopes or lottery balls tonight? What are the chances? Who's capturing the flag tonight? It's going to Chicago, right?
I mean, being here, I'm sure all the Bulls fans would love it. I remember one time back in 2007, I think it was, Derrick Rose ends up being the first pick in the draft. The Bulls had like the 8th worst odds, so never say never with these odds. But listen, if you're Houston or San Antonio and you end up with the number 1 pick, that's a massive coup. If you're the Philadelphia 76ers and you end up with the number 1 pick, New Orleans Pelicans, and you pair them with Zion, that's a massive, massive coup for them. But listen, which teams probably need them most? You have the Utah Jazzes of the world, the Washington Wizards of the world, of course, Charlotte. Those are teams, Toronto, Brooklyn, where, you have hope. You have a player you can kind of start to really build your culture and infrastructure around. And that's what a lot of people look at Cooper Flagg at. He has the focus, the temperament. He's got all the qualities I think it takes to be a star player in this league. I talked to GMs and people around the league. He reminds a lot of people of Anthony Davis.
Okay, Anthony Davis, obviously his future, we will deal with later, because that was a big part of the regular season. Congrats to whoever ends up getting the number 1 overall pick tonight. And remember, Ryan Smith said on our program, the Utah Jazz have never traded up to number 1. This might be, I don't know if he was alluding to potentially making a move or if that's just like hoping that they end up getting the number 1 overall pick. Tonight should be electrifying. We appreciate the hell out of you, Shams.
I will say, Pat, they've got 7 first-round picks of their own to trade. They've got 2 others, so that's 9. They've got 2 more from. They have like, if I'm doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. They have like 13, 14 first-round picks that they can use in trades. I'm not saying they're going to use all of them to go get number 1 in Cooper Flagg, but I did some research there for you. They've got over a dozen first-round picks that, as Ryan Smith exclusively told you, even if they don't get the number 1 pick, they're going to be trying to go for it.
I think so, yeah. That's basically what he was alluding to. Yeah. And I was like, Ryan, you're a good businessman. You're kind of giving up all your leverage right now. And he was like, I think he just wants his fans to know, like, hey, I know it was a bad year. I know people aren't happy, but now we're in a position to go. Is Cooper Flagg the right guy? Utah? I mean, potentially.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's potentially the guy. We appreciate the hell out of you. You're the man.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Happy Mother's Day. Love you, Mom. And I'm sure I'll get an opportunity to get the line right next time.
Okay. No,
blew that.
Yeah. It's already over, Shams. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Why Utah? Why is he fit in Utah?
White in Utah?
No, he's from the mountains.
Because he's white. No, I'm saying because he's white.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm saying. Is that what we were talking about?
Yes.
Were you guys talking about other reasons?
No, Maine.
It's Great White Hope.
I was talking about he is snow white.
He's a white guy.
Which is exactly what Utah is.
I got a trivia question. When's the last white American player been drafted number 1 overall?
Do you have the answer?
Andrew Bogut?
He's an Australian.
Number 1.
There's this guy I played with at Boyce Park growing up. I thought he could have been number 1 overall.
Dunleavy got number 1?
Larry Bird didn't go 1.
Nope.
Is this the first ever?
This is a long time.
American Pope?
Yeah.
Hold the phone.
I was going to say.
Was it Bob Cousy?
Could be Coos didn't
Was it
go
Leitner?
1.
No.
Leitner didn't go. Because it's always no offense, the European Caucasians.
Yeah, exactly.
Hembo will probably text you. And
Hembo, fun fact about that, it depends on what you qualify as a American white.
How long ago was it?
Do you know the answer?
D-Bone knows the answer.
D-Bone knows the answer?
So it's a Duke guy.
It sounds like it's fake.
That's head.
JJ? No.
I did Dunleavy and Leitner, so.
Bone, what's the answer? Do you know the answer?
Forgot the answer. I forgot.
Bone!
1977.
1977?
Oh, was it Pistol Pete?
Kent Benson, Milwaukee Bucks.
Dog.
Guy could hoop, brother. Guy could hoop.
Dog, dude.
Sure.
Yeah, I just what Ryan Smith told us, I felt like he was giving up all of his leverage whenever he was like, Utah's never traded up. It's like, brother, feels like this is something you should maybe keep in the back pocket. But I think there's a lot of intrigue, obviously, because the way Flagg has handled himself. And he was supposed to be in high school last year.
Yeah.
Instead, he's obviously on that Duke team. I'm excited to watch him. And congrats to all the boys that are going to get drafted. Obviously, a dream come true. Let's pivot away from the association and let's go to the National Hockey League. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who has been with ESPN since 1993. A pillar, not only of ESPN, but of hockey, of football, of daily sports life. Friend of the program, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Levy. Sorry, Steve.
What's up, fellas?
We got caught up in the NBA conversation. 1977, the last American white was drafted number 1 overall, potentially coming to the association again. Let's pivot away from that. Too much NBA talk. Let's talk about the NHL right now. How do you feel about the playoffs? What's the big storyline? And who do you think we should be talking about more, you think, Steve?
Well, first of all, Dallas Stars. And I'm in Dallas right now. I'm going to do Game 4 tomorrow night. Really excited about that. Ryan Callahan's on his way here, the former Ranger captain of broadcast on ESPN. But the Stars are the story, guys, for me. They have one player who is taking over the Stanley Cup playoffs. And if you don't know, you better recognize. Mikko Rantanen's been the guy. I mean, how many superstars in any league get traded twice in the same season? I mean, that just doesn't happen. And here he is, and he's lighting the playoffs on fire. I copied down a couple notes because I want to get this right. So, fellas, he scored or assisted on 13 consecutive Dallas Stars goals in these playoffs.
That's
That's mind-boggling. I think the Mario had the record. That was like 9.
Dog.
And so he's blowing it away. He's doing, hat tricks in periods in consecutive games. So he's the story for me.
Texas hockey, obviously alive and well. He had back-to-back hat tricks, obviously. That was an insane run for Mikko. And if, those green tarps making a run in the NHL would be a beautiful thing, not only for the league, but also for Gumpy in the back. We don't have a lot of time because we've wasted your time, Steve. So let's bounce around the playoffs here. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Steve, when you look at the series odd for teams to win the series, I mean, there's 3 teams that are up 2-1, but by far the biggest odds is Carolina minus 650 to beat the Caps. Why is Carolina, and it's been before the series started, even before the playoffs, why is Carolina such big favorites over the Capitals who, technically points-wise had the better regular season?
I don't get it. I don't get it either. I'm with you. It's a total lack of respect for the Capitals, who had a brilliant regular season. Now, of course, Carolina's winning. Carolina has question marks in goal always. And by the way, they had Mikko Rantanen, and they're the team that moved him last because they didn't think they could re-sign him long term. So, think about that for a second. Carolina has the most, I want to be careful how I say this, reliable yet unreliable goaltender in these playoffs, and that's Freddie Anderson. If he plays, if he's healthy, he's great. But there always seems to be a bump in the road for whatever reason. He gets banged up or can't go. And I can't explain it, but when he's good, when he's in there, he's unbelievable. And he playoff shutouts all the time. And he shut down Washington now and Alex Ovechkin. They can't get anything going. 5-on-5 power play. So Carolina's amazing. Their story, their style, guys, is so different from everybody else. They just shoot the puck from everywhere. They are a volume shooting team in the NHL, and they forecheck like crazy. And they have one of the few really strong home ice advantages, and that's it. But Washington's getting no respect. The numbers tonight are insane on the game. And with Carolina, if they have Anderson in there and they've got Andrei Svechnikov going, and they're trying to figure out who they're going to play with Ovi and Dylan Strome, and so that's where they are right now. But Carolina's, I don't get it either, quite frankly.
You talk about the home ice advantage. That's 20,000 raging Caniacs down there in Raleigh, brother. Who was jerking the thing off the other day?
Steve Smith.
Yeah, Steve Smith.
That's right.
He was jerking that.
Oh, that, yeah. I wasn't sure where you were going there. Yeah.
Sound on the side.
We don't know.
Had to tell him to stop. He wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop.
Cranking it off. Cranking it. That's all. That place is electrifying. Obviously, hockey in the playoffs is must-watch. So are the atmospheres. Obviously, we saw up there in Winnipeg for that overtime game. The Edmonton people, obviously, bananas. Let's go down to Florida, shall we? D-Butt, diehard Panther fan, has a question for you.
Yeah, you talk about reliable goaltending. Bob, another shutout in the playoffs now. Only guy with multiple shutouts in the playoffs. He back to form, and Panthers kind of back in control of the series after holding down home ice. And then one more part of that question with Max Domi, that dirty hit on Barkley. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, though. His dad was a scumbag too. Any suspension coming
tough
for him?
Guy, not a scumbag.
Yeah, sure.
Tony Domi.
He's been fined, so I don't think they let that go on in the playoffs. He's been fined. I would not anticipate any suspension for that play, although player safety could always look at that. So Bob has not been great the whole series. I know he was great in the last game, but he was kind of up and down in the first couple games of the series. To me, the two things to watch for in Toronto, Florida, I was not concerned about the Panthers at all, even though they lost the first 2 games. Never concerned about Florida. I am concerned with Matthew Tkachuk. He's not 100%. Like, he's out there, he's gutting it out, he's giving his best. He does not look like he's at 100%. And, he's not skating to the puck like he normally does. He's still agitating. He's still on a power play, still on in your face. So he's doing everything he can. But physically, there's no way Matthew Tkachuk is close to 100%. And the other thing is, I'm sort of waiting for Austin Matthews, this greatest American-born goal scorer, to take over a game, let alone the series, and we're just not seeing, that from him. Now some of that is on what Florida's doing, right? They're really sound, all 3 zones defensively, checking them to death when they can get the matchups. But those are 2 of the things I'm looking for in that series. That smells like 7 games. And Pat, you mentioned the home ice. For the first time in a long time, home ice matters again in hockey. It really was 500 the last couple of years. I just checked with our NHL research expert, Vince Massey. It's the first time in 20 years. Let's say this home teams so far this postseason are 40-20. Okay, that's a big, big number. The only time it's been higher is one time in the last 20 years. So it's gone from not mattering home ice to mattering a lot. I really don't have an answer. The buildings are all the same, now cookie cutter. But it matters now, and it's a big part of the game.
What is that, 75% now? 40-20?
66.
66.666666666.
Give or take, yeah.
67%. That's a 17% boost over 50-50. That's because the home ice is a real deal, especially down there in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Especially down there in Florida. Hockey town down there.
Hockey town.
Hockey beach down there
beach,
they got going on. Toronto potentially running away with that series. Boy, there was a lot of Maple Leafs fans flying high. I think Biz was having a full dance.
We had his face on the drum before the game.
I saw that you guys hammering Biz's face. His snaw's getting pounded down there. Marshawn coming alive down there. He's earned his tail for the Panthers.
Happy birthday.
Who?
Marshy.
Happy birthday, Marshy.
Birthday.
It's an honor to
Hey,
have
Marsh, the rat. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last question here about the hockey, Steve. We appreciate you. Go ahead, Con man.
Yeah, Steve, you mentioned Rantanen in the Stars series, but what about Hellebuck? He's kind of fallen off completely. I believe he's an MVP candidate for this year, and all of a sudden he basically looks like me between the pipes. So what has kind of happened, and do you think there's still time for him to get going? Because this series isn't really isn't really over by any means, especially if you have a goalie that can get hot.
No, he only looks like you in goal on the road. Okay, he looks like the MVP at home, and that's one of the weird home road splits. So Hellebuck hasn't won a single home game, and he's been pulled in 3 of the 4 road games. I think he's played, yanked, and he's given up 5 goals in every single one of those games. So it's a weird thing. Something cool that's going on here, sort of subplot, if you will. So Jake Ottinger's down at the other end, right? They're both American-born goalies. And maybe this series decides who starts for Team USA in the Olympics next year. That's got to be in the back of their two minds. Hellebuck is not only up for the Vezina, right, which is a goalie award. He is up for the Hart, which is regular season MVP, which goalies never win. And they're chanting in the building in Dallas that Otter's better, and that goes way back to like the 90s, late 90s, when it was the Stars and the Avs. And they were chanting Eddie's better when Eddie Belfour was battling against Patrick Waugh. So that's some of the cool stuff, the history of the series going on here. But the Olympic thing, I think, is an interesting angle. Maybe that's in the back of their minds. Ottinger's been better. Hellebuck's been good, but really at home. And again, if this thing goes 7, you see where that's headed. Advantage Winnipeg. So that'll be something to watch. Dallas will want to wrap this up with Pete DeBoer, 9-0 in Game 7s. Insane number as a head coach. They don't want to go to Game 7 here.
Absolutely not. Hockey's awesome, as are you. We appreciate the hell out of you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Steve Levy.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve's a legend, man. Always been welcoming to us from ESPN as well.
The best.
That's kind of a cool thing, because that's obviously not the case. A lot of the OGs around there are in the building, not just on air behind it. Steve's always been good to us. We appreciate him. Hockey's great, so is the NBA. Sports is the greatest thing of all time. We'll continue to chit-chat about them on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life.
All roads leading to Eugene, and I can't help but say, hey, you make me want to jump, put my hands up and pick my heels up and all again now. A little bit something now, 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 a little bit louder 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 now, a little bit louder. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great day in Oregon. We go to Cannon. Oh, wait! We are! Thank you! I love this. Let me go ahead and cock that thing. Boo ball. Boo ball. Ah, boom. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, Roughnecks. We got engineers, we got doctors, we got economists. We got real tests that have real implications happening. And all of these sons of said, give me college game day. Instead of studying, I had some questions about coming out here to Berkeley, but after experiencing it, it is very evident that this is one of the best cities in this here United States of America. USA, 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 USA. And this represents everything that is great with this country, with our sport. It doesn't matter which way you view the world. It doesn't matter which part of the country you're from. College football runs through our soul. And that is what a celebration today is all about. I am thankful to be here amongst these nerds and future geniuses and future people that are going to run this place. It's an honor to be in Berkeley. It's foggy. I think there's some skunks that died down the street.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, May 12th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports are happening all around us. We're lucky to chit-chat about them. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con, man, it looks like you're trying to will these Celtics back into the series, pal.
Yeah, look, someone's got to do it. And Peyton Pritchard so far has been that guy, and I'm just trying to do my part. And, I'm tapping into my darkness, just like Joe Mazzulla's telling us to.
Yeah, he said that was basically what you have to do, especially whenever you're down 2-0. And obviously the Celtics team's been able to overcome a lot of things. They're our reigning champions for a good reason. There was a time where they maybe weren't able to get it done, this young group. Then they're able to get to the top of the mountain. Then this year, whenever the Knicks started knocking them off after coming back from 20-plus point deficits, it's like, wait, did the Celtics lose their killer instinct? Then you hear Joe Mazzulla talking, it's like they'll never be able to lose their killer instinct. Never. Is that how you're feeling in Boston?
Yeah, exactly. Joe Mazzulla is the talk of the town. He is the prince who was promised. And, when you have a team that is this good and everyone's bought in, I think that is the greatest part. And 2-1, I think when it was 2-0 after losing 2 at home, everyone was talking pretty crazy. And I think Joe Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics kind of realized that. Obviously, Tatum, like Shams said, Tatum and Brown haven't had that dominant game yet, which I think gives Celtics fans hope, just because they've had 2 20-point leads that were blown, and then they had the game 3 where they dominated, and still haven't had that kind of signature performance from either of them. So because of that, I have a lot of faith, and I feel very good about tonight.
Tonight, 7:30 on ESPN, Celtics at Knicks, then 10 o'clock on ESPN, Timberwolves at the Warriors. Let's go to one half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP Tone. What are the sports books saying about the NBA right now?
Yeah, we got a couple home dogs tonight, but overall, as far as the series are concerned, in this second round, it's funny because the Celtics are down 2-1, okay, and they are minus 300 still to win that series. The Pacers, who are up 3-1 and just were up by 45 points or whatever it is at halftime, also minus 300 to win those series. So they're still No respect for the Pacers in the NBA, but there is a ton, obviously, still for the Celtics because they earned it. And then on the West, Minnesota's minus 800 to win their series. They're up 2-1. And then OKC minus 650. They are tied 2-2 with the Nuggets to win that series.
Interesting that the Pacers up 3-1, and they're allegedly 96% of the time. When somebody's up 3-1 in the NBA, you go on to win, or over 90%. I don't remember.
No, you're right. They showed it after. I think it's like 230 and 13.
Yeah, something like that. It's like 96% of the time, if you're up 3-1, you will go on to win the series. Only minus 300. Now, minus 300 obviously is it's very favorable, but it's not as favorable as minus 650 whenever you are a tie of the entire series, which is what Tone is trying to say. That one, 2-1 only. Timberwolves are minus 800. You're up 3-1. Donovan Mitchell is a game-time decision. He's on the other side. And the sportsbooks say, we don't know. We don't know still about this Pacers team. And remember, they haven't really been on primetime even during the playoffs. And they're taking on the number one Cavs. So this Pacers team and Rick Carlisle love that. They love everything about that. People doubting them, even though they've been the hottest team since the All-Star break. Go ahead, Tom.
One more little cherry on top. The Cavs and Pacers, exact same odds to win the NBA Finals right now.
Okay. All right, let's go to a 9-year NFL vet, host of Everything DB, Good D, Bad D. Darius J. Butler is here.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, D. Butchers? NBA playoffs has been fun to kind of capture each evening. Now, Game 3 seemingly were a bit of a blowout in some different occasions.
Yep.
Obviously, Pacers get their absolute asses beat. Knicks get their asses beat. There's a chance that's going to happen, but most nights, one of these games, if not both of them, deliver.
That's what you love about the NBA playoffs. These series, like each game is literally just it's a game completely in its own. One team can lose by 40 plus. There we go.
Yeah.
Team can win by 40 plus points in game 2, and then game 3 could be a completely different story. Kind of been the flip side of what Levy was talking about as far as home ice and home court goes, especially start out the second round. A lot of guys are losing on their home court and then winning on the road. So I'm excited to see how these two very pivotal games and 2-1 series tonight play out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact stats are now because of yesterday's game, but I know that during this NBA run, it was 28 and 28. Yeah, their teams were 500 home and away, so it is one of those things like Knicks Celtics. If the Celtics go on to win tonight, only the road team has won. And I don't know how many times that's happened in an NBA series, especially in the playoffs, where the road team is 4-0 throughout the first 4 games. So it is crazy how home court isn't as much of a thing because you'd think it would be more so than
in basketball too.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe it pisses people off. Maybe deep down we do have a lot of dogs still in the NBA, so they need the other team potentially chirping and keeping them alive. 28-28, battling 500, and then the hockey stat that he's saying for home teams. Steve Levy said 40 and 20 is what the home ice is doing. So. Okay, we got 2 different worlds going on. Tonight, obviously, 2 NHL games as well. Caps at Hurricanes. Canes are currently up 2-1. 4-0, I think, is the last game there. Hurricanes kind of dominated. Then Golden Knights at the Edmonton Oilers. That one has McJesus playing. Now, I don't know about Stoner. We weren't able to get to Ty's question there and what Stoner's health is at. We assume if they can put him on skates, he'll be out there. But hockey's delivering, the NBA's delivering, and the NFL always has news. We'll have Ian Rapoport joining us in about 10 minutes. He's wrapping up a lunch with his mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Nice.
And joining us now is a man who has 15 kids, so I assume he had to have a very, very empathetic Mother's Day yesterday. He's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
AJ.
Hawker, did you let Laura know that we said Happy Mother's Day, 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 Happy Mother's Day? Did you let her know that we said that to her?
Well, yeah, I'm not Phillip Rivers. I think Phil has 8 or 9 kids. I just saw he has a grandkid as well now, like similar ages to one of his own kids, which is just awesome. Like Phil Rivers, that guy's still doing it.
Yeah, congrats and Happy Mother's Day to his wife and everything.
Yeah.
That makes me feel old. Phillip Rivers is
He
now.
said his son, he said in 16 years, my son can throw touchdowns to my grandson. Yeah.
That's weird.
So he's a 16-year-old boy.
And a baby boy who's within... No,
he's got like a 23-year-old daughter, I believe,
years.
who has a kid, yeah.
In 16 years, because this kid just got born, so he's going to be in high school at the same time as probably his youngest boy, who is probably similar of age here to the new, within a high school year difference. So within 3 or 4 years of each other, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I believe happened, yes.
Phillip Rivers' grandkid just threw a touchdown to Phillip Rivers' son? I mean, that would probably be happening a lot if I had to guess.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I hope... And maybe great-granddaddy's still coaching
Yeah, could be.
You know, in this entire.
Phil probably still spinning.
Definitely.
For sure.
That'll never end.
Well,
I'll never forget whenever we caught up to them. He was on one of our draft spectaculars, I think, right?
Yeah.
Was it draft spectacular he joined us, or maybe it was our maybe it was a college football watch along.
That's what it was.
NC State,
Yeah.
Clemson.
NC State college football watch along, and he was out in the middle of who knows, not a lot of service, and you could hear the fire was still in him with how the dagnummit, you know,
Yep.
gosh darn it, God dang it, I think we heard a dang it in there. Fudge, a lot of fudge is in there, obviously, because he never swears. But he still had that fire.
He talks so much shite.
Did he talk to you?
Oh yeah.
What did he say to
So
you?
much.
You're trash?
Nah, I mean,
UConn's a bum school.
somebody make a good player, good catch or something. He'll talk some stuff. We had I think Ewald was kind of chirping with him. We had a couple battles with Phil. Great competitor though, great player, and it was always in good spirit. I like when quarterbacks talk shit though.
I love Phil. Phil Rivers was one of one. Obviously, he came to the Indianapolis Colts, led us to the playoffs.
That's right. Almost beat the Bills in Buffalo.
Best one we've had since last.
But by far,
Yeah.
Philip Rivers came in here and he could not move. Like he was, I don't know if it was how he's always been, or if his ankles, knees, and hips just didn't have the ability to really get after it anymore after all the years that he had. And it did not matter. He was like willing our team to win. I loved him as our Colts quarterback. I couldn't fathom how Chargers fans felt about him. Never swore, always competitive. Obviously, Antonio Gates is a Hall of Famer and everything like that. But like, what a perfect leader for your team. Just wasn't able. Which is what people will always hold against them.
Yeah.
You're alive during the Tom Brady era, brother. Like that is kind of the.
Especially like
and the other ones in his class.
Yeah, well, even
Ben
and Eli.
Even like Peyton, they hit the biggest one of his career was beating Peyton in Indy.
Phil,
Phil
which actually
Rivers.
led to me getting drafted. So that game, I guess the field position battle was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Mike Cyphers.
Cyphers, yeah.
Absolute dog.
Yeah, Mike Cyphers. Sorry, Cyphers. You're a dog. Absolute beast. You changed my life, actually, whenever you punted next to me one time. He is so good at what he did. But his team didn't win the Super Bowl, So it's like he gets even judged and talked about it as the punting position. But I guess whenever they beat the Colts, it was like he had like 6 inside the 10. Or something like that, and we were never able to answer. So Chargers win and beat the Colts, and then I get drafted the very next year.
Yeah.
And it was like Hunter Smith had an 11-year career here. He was absolutely phenomenal for the Colts for a very long time. Great athlete, beloved in the city. He was part of a religious band.
Yeah, he was.
He's like a preacher man.
Christian rock.
Christian rock band.
Gemstone.
He's like a preacher man. He's like a preacher man and everything. So then I come in here, in the same position. Nobody knows I exist. I get that public intoxication year 2. It was almost like a lot of people in Indy that super religious punters are punter. They didn't even know I exist. Hunter the punter, the name. He won the Super Bowl, everything like that. So then they find out about me, and they're like, oh, we want the complete opposite direction, which is what Bill Bowling seemingly did. And I think that's why a lot of people here in Indianapolis kind of rallied around me. They're like, okay, this is we got one of us out here. Not everybody is like me, obviously, but I think a lot of people knew that I was the complete opposite of Hunter. So, yeah, Cyphers and Phil got that huge win over the Colts, and that's basically the reason why I ended up getting drafted to the Colts. Maybe I should thank Cyphers for that entire thing, because I don't think anybody else would have drafted me as punter position.
And Phil Rivers.
And Phil. Yeah. Which, once again, shout out to Phil.
That's right.
Which we can't go back again and say, dog.
Absolute dog.
What's that one, 98-yard touchdown when the guy helps him up?
Oh, yeah.
Jacksonville.
The Jacksonville guy helps him up. Jacksonville guy helps him up and starts to jog away. It goes 90 in this guy just helped him up.
Thought it was Ngakoue who ended up playing for the Colts.
Baby.
I honestly thought it was.
And he's just checking. That guy's like, don't you do that.
Yeah.
And Phil's like, in his face. Just couldn't help himself. It was
juice.
Yeah, the juice.
Yeah. And the DN is saying to the ref, like, do you hear this guy? Like, can you tell him to stop, please? Do you hear this guy? And then he does say something, and then instead of yelling directly at him, he just continues to run straight. That's one of the best videos of all time.
That's one of the best mic'd up of all time. Hey, we'd like Phil. Hey, Phil.
Thank you.
We don't know when this message is going to get to you. Maybe somebody will take it by pigeon.
Sure.
Maybe they'll send it up a smokestack like the Pope decision. Hey, Phil, we appreciate your contributions to football.
Love you, Phil.
I hope he goes. I hope he's first ballot.
He should be.
I hope so.
I hope he continues to climb coaching. Like, could you imagine him in college? How great he would be as a college head coach,
especially if you're a dad to that. No, you probably have the amount of
Have to.
The amount of this shit you get going on. Now, AJ, the NFL is happening. It always is, isn't it?
Always is. There's always news, right? They announce that one couple matchups and people lose it and say, hey, we got to see these games or we're pissed off because we don't get prime time.
Cowboys, Eagles kicking off the season in the banner-hanging game in Philadelphia. We knew that was coming.
Yes, we did. No doubt.
We knew that was coming. Hey, NFC East Super Bowl champ. You know what that means?
Yep.
What's that? We have the opportunity to put the damn Cowboys on opening night. This is something that the schedule makers, and I assume the NFL and Jerry Jones and everybody that's associated with the Cowboys mega train, that has kind of been the case for a long time. They released how many primetime matchups teams have had and everything like that. Obviously, Cowboys, Eagles are up there at the very top of it. Cowboys, Giants, the other half of the NFC East is the second largest. It's like that is just the reality of the business. If they can put Jerry Jones' business on primetime, they're going to do it. Why do you do it? Well, because Jerry Jones' team is beloved by a lot of people and hated by a lot of people. So if you go into the boxing world or you go into any other type of promotion, people want to watch the team that they hate get beat, and they want to watch the team that they love win. Cowboys are that team to basically everybody in the country, everybody in the football fan base. That's going to draw a massive number, Philadelphia versus Dallas, and that's going to start the biggest season I think the NFL has ever had ratings-wise. And that's crazy to think about because last year it was so gigantic while everybody else is kind of stagnant or going down. But what a way to launch. And if they're able to play good football early, remember, last year was the biggest year that they've had since 2016 or something like that.
Something like that.
I forget what year it was, 2016 maybe. It's like they weren't even playing good football for the first half of the year. No. It was kind of like crop football.
We had no points, right? We were talking how the defense was taking over. Like, oh, is this what the NFL is now?
Yeah, and it wasn't even just no points. There was like no good running. There like wasn't even if we're going to have that style of football again, there wasn't even like highlights. And the new kickoff rule just looked weird. And then somehow back half of the season, it just started becoming great football. The kickoff started becoming electrifying, as you just saw right there.
Yep.
And the run game was even getting sophisticated and fun to watch while the defenses were battling. It was like football got to a good spot. And I think that's why this upcoming season it's going to be great. And if Dallas can stop the run, that'll be good for football.
Yeah.
Because if not, opening night is going to be Saquon Barkley running for maybe 300, 400 yards to start this entire season. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the NFL, but I do know that if that's a good joust and a good showcase of offense and defense, it's like I think it sets a tone well for the year.
I expect it to be a good one. NFL and football always figures it out. And that looking at that graphic with the Cowboys and the Giants, we know the Giants a lot of those times they sucked. And then Eagles been up there. And now with Jaden Daniels being in Washington, he's primetime TV. So you expect he'll probably be the third one when we look back at this for the next 10 years. But, yeah, they always figured out football. You know, you come into the season, especially with a lot of coaches will say the lack of practice, especially in the trenches, until you get into that season, especially for, guys like me and AJ. You don't tackle anybody full speed to the ground, really, until you get into preseason football games and then the real games, which the vets play
too, yeah.
more into. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you too, of course.
Yeah, I'm not tackling to the ground in practice.
Keep you safe. But, so it takes some time to get used to everything full speed. But they always figured out we'll have some great football next year.
I think the game, we talk about the cyclicality of the game, which is certainly a word, AJ. Situations are situational, like this word existing, especially for football. It's like I think it's a good style of football that people are going to like, too, with what we're kind of evolving into, what the draft looked like, what free agency looked like, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously how the Eagles went about their business and their playoff run and winning it all with Saquon mixed with big plays over the top, hopefully that is like what we're going to see. Most teams want to be that. They want to be a team that can play the run, or obviously you can run the ball, stop the run, all the old cliche things you hear about. But, man, if this can kind of spread, it is definitely going to be a fun season to watch.
And Mike McCarthy say you need 4 1s up front on D-line.
That's right.
And that's what you're seeing with everybody. It's like if D-line's playing well, too, that's an exciting brand of football.
Mm-hmm.
D-linemen playing good football is fun to – it's not a deep shot, right? But we have that highlight. That highlight's already existing to kind of captivate people. If we can start getting highlights from the big guys, and if we can start getting big-time runs in physicality, more physical type shit, I think there's a lot of people that would love to see that with the game. And it's a good way to advertise. It's a good way to promo football and separate football from other sports. It's like, I think we're in a good spot, let alone the global growth that is kind of happening with this entire thing. It's pretty insane. Joining us now is senior insider at the NFL Network. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program and host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet, fresh off a lunch with his mother. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapoport.
Yeah, Rap Sheet.
What's up, man?
Lovely lunch. Really nice.
I like you got dressed up for mom there. You know, wore your best Hawaiian button-down short sleeve shirt.
Yeah, you know, the button-down short sleeve shirt is coming back, interestingly enough. It's been a couple of years, but it's coming back. It was a great lunch. My mom had a lovely mocktail, then great Cuban sandwich. I had some tacos. It was fantastic. Great post Mother's Day lunch.
Your mom ordered a mocktail, and you'd never been more disgusted with her because you were like, Mom, if we're gonna do any ocktail, it's one that starts with a C, and it's gonna have double or triple in there because we know that is your style, Rapshi. We know that is your thing.
Well, once she ordered a mocktail, I ordered a ginger soda with lime just to make sure that we were on the same page. Set the tone for a very lovely lunch.
Well, we appreciate the hell out of you for joining us, Rap Sheet. Loose lips, don't sink ships here. You go ahead and just let that thing out. Anything you know, you tell us. Eagles-Cowboys, we should have all assumed as the opener. Schedule release is tomorrow. This is going to be a big deal. I feel like this has become a big deal for the NFL, Ian.
Schedule release Wednesday.
Okay,
so I believe it's 8 o'clock Wednesday. So I have to say, I was not 100% sure it would be Eagles-Cowboys because, like, you could play Eagles-Cowboys anytime, anywhere, and the ratings are going to be through the roof. And this year, I mean, I assume the Cowboys are going to be better. Eagles obviously are really good. Like, these are huge games. Every NFC East game is a huge game. So you don't always want to do that as the opener because sort of the opener boosts up another game. But, I mean, I guess the NFL kind of just couldn't resist. I mean, this is a spicy one. And, you know, the George Pickens thing spices it up anyway, but it's not like the Cowboys, like, needed more star power, and now they have Pickens, and I'm like, okay, now they're, like, worth watching. Like, no, like, this is a big-time team. It's a big-time matchup. I always, like, I don't know, like, I kind of love the schedule release, even though we already know the games are going to be. It just makes you feel like the season's coming. This was a good way to kick it off.
Yeah, I think it's a gigantic one, especially with Shoddy's first coach, first-time head coach. First game is one that the entire world's going to expect. And I thought about tomorrow because tomorrow's NFL schedule release eve.
Sure.
Which is being celebrated at the McAfee House. So that's 100%.
Obviously.
That's 100% on
Presents
me.
under the tree, cookies and milk the day of the schedule release. You put them out the night before. I got you.
No, that's Christmas, brother. What are you stealing from Christmas? Jeez.
How hard do you think teams?
It's beef and beer.
Jeez,
It's the same thing.
Are they going to keep sprinkling out different matchups?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, tomorrow there's some internet.
Oh, yeah.
No, they always leak, remember?
Yeah, I love that.
They always, which is a good idea by them.
Love it.
And I assume McCarthy here probably had some sort of, hey, they're going to get these anyways. Why don't we just go ahead and say, hey,
literally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you're telling us who your sources are. That's
Social
great
media
news.
teams are making last-minute adjustments tonight.
Yeah. Hey, McCarthy, you're doing it. You know it.
Oh my
goodness. This guy throws gas all the time.
Yeah.
This guy. Actually, a good follow on X as well. What you just have a full.
That's what Diggs just said. It. I forget how the teams make those videos every year.
Oh, my God.
We rank the videos.
Yeah, you're right.
That's this week.
That's a big week.
That's awesome.
Hey, digital teams.
Their Super Bowl.
You should have already had a plan.
Yeah.
Because they only get allegedly like 13 hours or something to make a video. So, like, you remember when the Chargers
That's
did.
true?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did like the full anime or something because they don't want anybody to leak the schedule. So they can't send it to everybody, but they know the teams are going to send it directly to like a digital team. A digital team is like 15, 20 people, maybe 10 to 15 people in each place. So that's a lot of time to potentially leak. So they give it to them late. So the digital team has to have this idea already in the bank, basically. Remember, the Chargers did the anime one. That's why we were so impressed. We were like, you had 4 hours to do this, and they basically had it all created, and then they just had to piece
They know
it
the
together.
opponents. They just
Yeah,
Who's the reigning champs right now? Was it the Titans last year that kind of?
That was 2 years ago that they did.
2 years ago.
the Panthers had a good one. Remember when the kid did like the nostalgia one?
the 90s one.
Rode the bike in there.
Yeah, the Broadway, the wrong emblems and stuff. That was 2 years ago.
That was great.
Yeah,
That's
Whoever
a forever classic right there.
Whoever works in the 100 versus 1 gorilla will be.
Oh, that's probably going to be a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be a lot of the schedules. Good luck out there, digital teams. We won't judge you.
I'm so pumped.
This is what you're paid for. This is what you're there for. And you do well here. Get a little love around the internet. That's a one-way trip to the top.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you do it bad, and people say it's terrible, remember, you can blame anybody else.
Exactly.
That's kind of the way the game works.
That's nice.
You guys everybody just blames everybody else. So you're kind of in a win-win digital team, but we would like it to be good. Okay, Rep, we know we're waiting.
Sorry, I just got a text on this topic from a pretty good source. hearing Cardinals digital team as a banger of a schedule release this year.
Okay, that'd be good news for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals potentially kind of changing the way you think about them. You know, with the moves that they made, you know, they get Calais, they bring Calais Campbell back. I think that's a big deal. I think a lot of people in Miami were pretty bummed out about that. But you talk about the coaching staff, the video, you could kind of change an image with how this whole thing goes.
That's why all eyes are on Vegas. You know, this is Tom Brady's first scheduled release with his social team as an owner.
Yeah, he's got a team. He's got a social team, too.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's like his social team, now he's got an NFL
They
team.
make really good.
And let's not even talk about Mark Davis's social team.
Oh, Sure. man.
You know, they all got a collab there. You got a lot to work from.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll's jogging across the field in gloves right now. We'll get into the OTAs. Anyway, shout out to the Cardinals. Hey, good luck, social.
Good luck.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
Really hyped up right now. Better live up to it.
I'm excited for Arizona all of a sudden.
And Bills, I heard Bills got a big one too. So anyway,
Always.
I'm not going to spoil.
We'll see.
Not going to spoil. This will be good.
The Bills are doing the whole Brady
Who's got a bad
thing.
one?
It sucks.
Yeah, that's a good question, AJ.
Yeah, who's got a bad one, Ian? Who are you hearing is going to just mail it in and do a terrible one?
Kind of shit the bed.
No.
Yeah.
So you can the retweets will tell the story.
Yes, they will.
Like whoever gets the least internet action, that's what it's. I mean, that's the prize, right? So like, now
What if they pay for it? What if they pay for some interaction?
Boom.
Oh no, not cool. That's not cool.
Teams
Well,
don't
yeah,
do
but
that.
someone's going to do it. I
You're
mean, they
telling
can do
me?
it still.
You're telling me?
Teams don't do.
We know one team.
If your job just rides on it, if your job, that's like what you're being judged on, yeah, it could happen.
The way X works now, if you pay for an ad, you could potentially see a 40 million number on your thing. I'll be scrolling and I'll see some regular ass looking tweet.
Yep.
And I'm like, how'd this tweet get into my life? And then you see like tiny little ad at the
Those are
top
the
of
worst.
it. And then you see the number that is on it. And then you see the actual action on it. And it's like, oh, so you can literally just pay to get a massive number. Some teams should do that. Some teams should absolutely do that.
Yeah.
I would.
Like egregiously make it like
Make it obnoxious.
Yeah, 250 million views.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do it, you gotta
go all the way.
Yeah, you gotta really, you gotta really go all in. That'd be gimmicking the internet, which is all they're trying to do.
Exactly.
Is gimmick the internet. Okay, enough about the social teams. Wednesday night, we'll judge you. Do it good too, so we can have a good time because it's kind of the NFL offseason. We need something. So you guys crushing it is helping all of us out. You're helping the sport out. You're helping the league out. And in the end, inevitably, you don't want to say this because you don't want to be selfish. It helps you out as well to do a good job. Even if in the meantime you can do this, doing a good job is good in the end for you. All right, let's bounce around the NFL a little bit. D-Bud has a question for you.
We'll get into the rookie OTAs a little bit later with some highlights. One guy we won't see on those highlights, Shamar Stewart out there in Cincinnati. Hasn't signed his rookie deal yet, obviously, but isn't participating in the on-field activities. Is this big news, small news, or something we'll just move past? What's going on there in Cincy?
Definitely small news, but also kind of odd news because there's a lot of rookies that have not signed. I think by now it's more than half. I think around half of the first round picks have not signed, whatever the number is, and they're all participating. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
That's Ginger and
everything's fine.
Hey, was that mom shit? Maybe had the mocktail. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, we're all good. We're back. No, it's like usually you sign like a sort of contract that like a little something that says you're covered in case of injury before you sign your rookie deal because these are all guaranteed. You're getting it anyway. I've never really seen this before where a rookie is not participating because they haven't signed. I'm sure it'll be worked out sooner rather than later. It's just a little weird, and like Shamar Stewart will be fine, but you're kind of just missing those reps, and I'm not sure for what.
I think Bosa did it right, AJ, if I remember.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would assume he did actually.
Yeah, I think because that was like the beginning of like.
But are the Bengals doing something though?
But that was
Ian,
over
are the
like a
Bengals
real
doing something
issue.
weird though?
Yeah, that's a good question too.
What are the Bengals
That
doing?
was
Though? What are they
over-
trying to do in their contract that he is
Hey,
not?
let's all talk
he is
right
not
now.
signed to
Let's all
other
talk
teams.
right now.
Wait,
Let's all talk right now. What about talk right now? Let's all talk right now. Let's all talk right now. Okay, let's reset, AJ. What'd you say again? Because this is a good question.
That was a nice little. I like what we did there. But are the Bengals doing something? Are they trying to ask something out of this contract that other teams may not be asking rookies to do?
I don't believe so, and I have not heard that they are. I'll dig more into it, but like the issues we've had, which were like Bosa, and then Roquan, I believe, were over. Like one was signing bonus when it was going to be paid, either in like March or in September or something like that. And then the other was offset language. These are issues that were important to the players at the time, but overall not something that will be life-changing. I'd be surprised if there was anything here that the Bengals are trying to do that would kind of sabotage this. I don't think so.
Okay, let's stay with the Cincinnati Bengals. Massive chatter. And our show obviously feels associated with it because the program was the place that kind of found out in real time alongside everybody else while we're chatting with them. Like, oh, the Bengals and Trey, interesting spot. Tone has a question for you, Rab.
Yeah, I do, Ian. I'm not sure if you know this or not because you weren't working. You were at lunch with your mom. But Trey Hendrickson filed a statement with ESPN saying there's been no communication between his camp and the team since the draft, basically. Do you know anything about this since you were at lunch, or should we call somebody? Should we call Shefty?
Jeez, what the? Wow. You did not deserve that, Rap. Thank you for taking time out of your Monday. Jeez, Louise.
He knows I'm kidding.
You can call any other reporter you would like, but I'm happy you're talking to me.
No, we are lucky you are here. Sorry about that.
He knows I'm kidding.
With that being said, Schefter did break that here since we've been live, so that is. I think that was maybe submitted, but nonetheless, it says statement to ESPN. Trey Hendrickson doesn't do that a lot, right? That's why him coming on our show to say anything is like, I think was a kind of a different ordeal than ever before. That's not like his style. He doesn't love that type of thing. J.J. Watt has responded to Schefter's tweet and basically gave away what the game is sometimes for players in businesses and teams whenever they are trying to negotiate a deal. They'll say, hey, next offseason we'll take care of you. We'll make this thing happen. Then basically you have a year. That next offseason comes. They either lowball you or crickets is what J.J. Watt. Here it is. Last offseason. We don't want to do a deal now, but we'll make you right next offseason. Okay? And we'll get it done early. Now, remember, they've done a lot of other deals right now. J.J. Watt is just hypothesizing about a potential situation that could have happened maybe from his own experience or maybe somebody else that he knows. And then whenever the time comes for it, it's either not a good offer, low ball offer, he said, or crickets. Trey Hendrickson basically told us that there was really no communication. Like, this was just like a, hey, this is what you can get. And then I believe the ownership, Miss Blackburn, she said something about like, sometimes these players just need to be happy and thankful with where their offer is or something along those lines. What the hell is going on with Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals? And if this was going to end up with him being traded, why haven't they already done that? Maybe before the draft. What do you think and why do you think this is all happening, Rap, from where your point of view is?
Let me go to the last part first. I believe that you're correct. If the Bengals were going to trade him, it probably would have happened already. Not that trades can happen after the draft. We literally saw one last week, a huge trade last week. But generally, trades either happen before the draft or like around cutdown day when there's literally no other time to get something done and a team says, this is not going to happen, let's just trade you. So Trey Hendrickson is right. While there's been some communication between him and the team, there hasn't been contract communication, which is the only important kind of communication. Not the only important, but that's the good stuff, right? That's what you want. You want negotiations, you want offers, you want real stuff. That has not happened. But my belief, and let me say this first, I understand why he's upset. I do. There's no real deadline now. There's nothing to force a team to do anything. There's not mandatory minicamp where he's going to show up or not. There's nothing. So he wants a deal, but the team hasn't shown the urgency that he wants. And he deserves a raise. He is awesome, and he deserves more money. I believe they're going to give it to him. It just hasn't happened yet, and they just haven't struck the right deal yet. You know, the Bengals are just a little bit more of a methodical organization than a lot of teams. And we saw how long it took for them to do, the Jamar and T deal. I understand he's mad. I empathize with him being mad. But I do believe they're going to pay him properly and then eventually get this done. And he'll be on the field, rich and happy.
So is that you sending a message from the Bengals to Trey Hendrickson, or is that just you hypothesizing from what you've heard?
No.
Because Trey Hendrickson, hearing you say that you do believe the Bengals are going to get a deal done with him and move forward, I think that's probably a big deal because I think Trey Hendrickson's big problem is like we haven't heard anything. Right. Like they haven't even really engaged.
Like a negotiation tactic?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are they trying to hold him out?
Yeah,
trying to freeze him out a little bit?
Is Rap Sheet the one that's supposed to get it out there like, hey, don't worry, tell everybody we're going to, get this done.
Spreading.
Exactly. But really, they're not going to do it. But Rap Sheet's the one saying that, making these lies up.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. See, this is what we need to know. What is the context of what you're saying?
Good question. Good question. So what me saying that is from the conversations I've had with the Bengals sources in the past, not today.
Got it.
I didn't see the statement reach out. Okay, what now? So this was sort of in the past. I know they like him, they believe in him, they value him, all of that. I do believe the deal gets done. This is me kind of taking all that and saying like, here's where I heard that, AJ. Here's where it's eventually going to happen. But this is not me sending a message, because like the message would really be like, it's going to happen eventually. But if you're Trey Hendrickson, you're like, okay, well, come on, like, oh, thanks, like, so no message could do anything stronger than like an actual extension offer would do. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. That's the best way to talk, especially if you value, and because that's what that means, and love a guy. And that was where, there was certainly whatever the case, the Bengals probably have 1,000 things going on in their world. They obviously did with Jamar and T and everything like that. That's big money. That's obviously a massive piece of importance. But all Trey's thinking about is his family and that's all that he's trying to figure out. He's trying to figure out what the future, because that's all he's thinking about is himself and his situation. And obviously he's even come out and said, like, we hope the Bengals, he loves Cincinnati, he loves the Bengals, very proud of everything he's done. I think he even said, like, if it would help the Bengals to trade me and so they don't feel obligated to have to pay me. I think that was like his original thing. Yeah. Is because
I don't think he feels like that anymore.
You think he's past that?
He's past that shit. And then we know as vets, look, you obviously what's going on in your negotiations, but you watch the draft too. So you got the first round, you draft Shamar.
He's holding out.
And now he's holding out.
He's holding out.
He's holding out, but we assume that'll get figured out sooner or later. But I mean, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Hubbard retires, like, let's figure this out, or let me move on, send me to Indy.
Good luck to the Bengals figuring it all out.
Good luck.
Trey feels like Trey just wants a little communication.
Yeah.
That's all. That is all Trey is looking for. Con Man has a question for you, Rap Sheet.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, you're plugged into New England. Right now, there's clips of Mike Vrabel working with the rookies, and he's putting the pad on. He's kind of getting physical with some of these rookies. Is this normal? Does this happen around the league? And what do you think people in the league think about this? I assume some coaches might see this and say, you know what, I gotta step up kind of my alphaness if I want to be able to hang with Mike Vrabel this year.
Well, if we're gonna have like an alpha battle, there's Vrabel. I mean, there's a couple. You got Campbell, you got Tomlin. I mean, there's a lot of ways to win. But different style. Different style. But D'Amico was a badass player. I mean, it's a long time ago, so people don't probably remember. I
bet D'Amico's studding a little bit.
Yeah,
at practice.
He's in the trenches,
definitely
for sure.
MCDC's doing up downs with him. So I wonder if he's doing that drill right there is a punt protection drill too. So that is for the first time.
All right.
For the first time in these guys' careers ever in football. Everywhere they have been the superstar on their football team. So playing on special teams has never, ever been something where they've been broached. Now, there are college coaches who have started putting their starters on special teams because of this reason right here. So these guys who have always been the studs are basically depending upon playing special teams for their future of football. Like, if you can't block for a punt happening here, you're probably not going to make the team. That guy's probably been the best player on his team, both sides of the football, for like his entire life. And now it's like, hey, if you can't, so you got to go backwards down a straight line, and then you got to stop, throw, and then you got to run 60-yard sprint. Is what we need for you. 60-yard sprint down the field, and then you got to tackle somebody.
Lane integrity. Have it.
You can't get out of this lane either. And if you give up a punt block in preseason, you're gone. And if you miss a tackle or get out of your lane and they score a touchdown in preseason, you're gone. You have no idea how important this is. And that is something I think like a lot of young guys don't know.
No.
Like, legitimately. I don't think a lot of these young dudes know, but like special teams is where the bottom 30, I would say, of a team, maybe even 35 of a team, are going to be like, at least have a hand in deciding the future of everybody's football.
Yeah, you want to be as valuable as possible, so you want to be able to get on all four teams. And like you said, if you're not, a starter, basically, like one of the top 2 corners, one of the top 2 receivers, top 3 running backs, linemen can kind of get out of that, but even D linemen, pass rushers, linebackers, of course, safeties, but like in those positions, like if you're not legit, like the guy going into that season, that's where you're gonna make your hay a lot of times.
And if it's starting to become a more run heavy game, There's probably going to be maybe punting a little bit more. Now, granted, they're choosing not to do punts on a regular basis, which I don't love. But I think if scores, are going to be what they're going to be potentially, which is a little bit more mid-range as opposed to like huge scores, possessions are going to matter. You give up a block punt, a lot of these coaches feel like you are a detriment to the team. Can't have it happen. So I love that Vrabes is in there trying to feel these guys.
Yeah.
I love that he's like trying to feel it. The conversation was about Will Campbell. I think coming out is that he had hands on him, and maybe Vrabes didn't want the film to be released. That's an interesting. I know he just asked like how many coaches are doing that, but I don't think I saw that at the Colts. Did you guys have that? Did Kevin Green do stuff?
KG was not scared to throw his head in there without a pad on for sure. But no, you don't see this very often. Because if you're a player, and even like if I'm a player and I see a coach put a pad on, like that's going to be one of my best strikes ever when I'm getting out on that punch rep right there. Like I'm going to punch him so hard, and hopefully he knows like, hey, I'm not going to come back that guy's way.
Hey, that's like you're being evaluated right there.
Oh yeah,
like he can literally feel because Vrabes has been there. I wonder if he thinks like as he's gotten older, he's gotten softer, or if the guy's gotten stronger. Like I wonder at what point he was like, I am like 45 now. Maybe I can.
No.
So you talked to him at Tahoe.
He doesn't have that. You say he doesn't have
that? No, I'm sure Vrabes still feels really good about taking anybody on out there.
At Tahoe, you talked to him about, guys on the Titans.
Oh, yeah, about guys he wouldn't fight.
Yes.
And he said it was the D lineman. I forget his name.
Just Jeffrey Simmons.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Junkyard.
And maybe one other guy. And that's because he's literally felt every single guy. He's gotten in there and been like, yup, can beat him up. Yup, can beat him up. And then he got the Jeffrey Simmons. And it was like, whoa, this guy's got me. All right, this guy's got me. He should, though. He's down at D tackle there. I love that Vrabes does this. I assume Dan Campbell does. Go ahead, Rap. I'm sorry.
No, so I was just thinking, you guys did a great job of explaining the special teams sort of emphasis in New England. Like, if you look at why they were successful, and D-Butt knows this as well as anyone, like, they've always been great basics, fundamentals, great special teams, and, like, the bottom 30 players, for years when they were winning, I would put up against anyone in the league. Like, that was really where they were so good. Like, the fourth linebacker who had to play in, like, December was always great. And if they're getting back to that, and if Vrabel's getting personally involved with making sure that, like, they're undrafted rookies and those guys are all solid, like, that's how this team's going to get better. It really is. Like, that's how you do it.
Good luck to you, Patriots.
Yeah.
You got the quarterback.
I'm ready for the schedule release.
You got the quarterback.
A lot of favorable matchups.
Wednesday night could be a great night for the Patriots. Tomorrow, NFL schedule release eve, where obviously you celebrate by
putting milk and cookies out.
No, we go to
Santa
Christmas.
Claus.
Beef and beer.
Beer.
Maybe wings.
Yeah, definitely.
Beer.
Jerky.
Wings.
Oh, wings.
See yourself on a Sunday, The night you're having your last meal before finding out what your Sundays, Mondays, Fridays, Wednesdays,
Thursdays,
Saturdays could look like in the future. The NFL is growing. Hey, I said I thought it was going to be a massive year for the NFL. What's upcoming? I think that's the case. I think not only globally, but I think that I think more people are going to fall in love with the style of football that's about to be played by everybody. Now, there's going to be a guy that's not going to be playing football anymore, we learned. Ty has a question for you, Rap.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but how did we get to this point with Derek Carr? Were the Saints aware that retirement might be a possibility? What does that do for their cap? What did he forfeit? What do they have to do? And then also, does that mean that Tyler Shuck has the inside track at being the starting quarterback this year?
So the Saints knew there was a possibility that Derek Carr wouldn't play in 2025. Like, as he was dealing with the shoulder injuries, he kind of got on this offseason. He tried to rehab. He took a shot, tried to get to a point where he could function, and it became pretty clear that without surgery, which he now which he would need, without surgery, he was not going to be 100%, was not going to be able to play. What we didn't know, and what the Saints probably only learned recently, was that he was willing to not just work with them, but really like gave up a lot. Like retirement, look, best case option, he played. That's not going to happen. Second best option is he retires and he gave up $30 million that were previously guaranteed to him. Like he gave it up. He takes his $10 million in a roster bonus and he gives up 30. That means nothing this year, but next year his cap hit drops by 30 million. That kind of gets them back toward more like a regular salary cap team, I guess, and does them like a huge solid. So that, like, if you want to be like, you know, compromise, like that's a compromise. And that I thought Derek Carr didn't need to do that. I'm not sure a lot of people would have done that. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I would say it gives Tyler Shuck the kind of the inside track. He's got to prove it. But he was considered to be the most NFL ready starter in the group. We'll see now. He's got a good opportunity.
It doesn't make sense why he wouldn't be the first overall pick, but nonetheless, people have their reasons for what they.
Yeah, what group? The group in New Orleans or this draft class?
You mean
Can't be New Orleans.
Yeah,
they got Jake Hayner, and we know what he's about.
Yeah, we do appreciate the hell out of that man's moxie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we think he is moxie at 100 all the time.
Oh my God, I cannot.
He's that dude.
What are you talking about?
Can you not?
Rattler, dog,
Can you not?
and Shuck.
Yeah.
Or not another picture.
Shuck is. We didn't create this. I think we pulled this.
There's no way he takes that picture and goes, print it.
He did.
He took multiple.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, this dude's a dog, bro. This guy does not care how you feel about this entire thing, by the way. He's a dog. Now, with that being said, Shuck is what, 20? He's like 26 or something?
Yeah,
25?
26.
I don't think that matters. Like, I think a lot of people hold that against like a rookie coming in. If you could play 10 years, wouldn't that be a successful first-round pick?
Yeah.
If you were able to do that, I think that would be a big deal. So I'm happy for it. Good luck to him. But that leads to a conversation that's happening in Cleveland pretty loud. What were you going to say?
No, I just want to know, you always talk about with the draft for outliers, like, has that happened? The guy that jumps to my mind is Browns, Brandon Wheaton, and I feel like there's another one too. But has there been like an older guy, Chris Winkie, older guy that came in and actually been successful?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I mean, wasn't Penix 20? Oh, I just looked up. Shuck's 25. It'll be 26 in September. Wasn't like Penix 25 last year too? Like,
24. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We hope.
No, I just mean like in general.
Yeah, but that is a good question. Like, how many times in the past have we? Whedon, I think, would be the one. And in my head, he played a lot of great football. Shout out to Whedon. Played a lot of great football. Was it the flag? There was something.
Yeah, he got stuck underneath.
That was like first game.
Yeah, he got stuck underneath. He got caught.
And then the internet put his age on the.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Like the internet.
National anthem?
Yeah. Well, it was before as the flag was being run out. He was somewhere.
He didn't know how to get out and just got caught underneath it.
And the internet did what the internet does, and it was not fair, but it happened, But I remember them putting his age, I think, on that video, and me being like, "Good luck out there, Whedon. Good luck out there."
Jeff Garcia was 29
when he went in.
That's a good one.
He was in the CFL, right? Was he a CFL guy?
This says Warren Moon was 28.
Okay, so we should probably assume any CFL guy. Probably.
Yeah.
He was probably was Warren Moon USFL?
Probably. I don't
Was it that era?
How old was Kurt?
Yeah, Kurt Warner.
Not on the list.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because he was with the Iowa Barnstormers.
That's right. He was undrafted.
He was practicing out in Cornfield.
He was.
I watched that story. It was an underdog story.
It was.
Yeah.
Through and through.
True.
Tearjerker.
I cried.
Kurt was 27.
They're making another
Warner
one.
was 27? Okay, so there
That's a
has
good
been
one.
plenty. Okay, good luck out there, Shuck.
Hell yeah.
But that does lead to a conversation that's currently happening in Cleveland. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Ian, what are you hearing about the, OTAs or minicamp?
I'm sorry. I'm seeing the video. I'm seeing the video of Whedon right now. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This was the video. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
no.
Shit.
Oh, no.
That was. Yeah. And then I was trying to keep the flag up, obviously, and show respect.
No pocket awareness.
Is he trying to run to the other side?
I think he's trying to get out. Yeah. And
I would
then-
just lay underneath it.
Why did he go the other way?
I don't know. I think he had somebody behind him. He felt the pressure. He was just reading it. He was trying to
Exactly.
survive another step. I don't think he was thinking about everything. They go on here. You all right? You all right? Yeah, I remember.
no.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go.
So you know that they saw that and they go, oh God, like he just awareness, like know they must have been like,
He loves America.
Let's say, hey, shout out to Whedon. We appreciate you, Whedon. Whedon was trying to keep the flag off the ground.
Exactly.
Trying to keep the flag off the ground. It's very nice of him. Yeah, he's being the base of a table down there. We are in, since it's in Cleveland, Cleveland is the basis of the OTA conversation basically right now, which I think everybody kind of understood, especially with this rookie class. AJ has a question for you.
Yeah, Ian, what are you hearing from your sources out of Cleveland? I know Mason Graham is throwing up early on their OTA. Shadura looks like he's throwing some dimes. I know other media members are trying to height shame possible rookie quarterbacks on the roster there. Like, what are you hearing out of this first weekend?
Messed up.
height shaming, not good, guys.
That's not cool, dude.
Not cool.
It's messed up.
Not good.
That's not cool, man.
Like, we all know.
Yeah, I mean that's something. I don't know if you guys. I feel that. I feel that, and I'm not okay with that.
What do you feel?
Okay, so
What, the
Just
puking
the
at
hype.
practice?
No, just the height shaming. Anyway.
That guy.
Cleveland. Yes.
What a loser.
I expect it to be the center of OTAs. I expect it to be the center of training camp. Like, remember this really does, I don't know how it's going to turn out. And I hope better, because I really do think Shedeur could have an excellent, excellent future in the NFL. But it does remind me, hype-wise, of the Manziel years where, like, cameras were at Brown's training camp every day. And, like, it's not quite like that, because I think Shedeur and the Browns have tried to take the temperature down a bunch. And he, like, you know, he's got kind of a deflecting way, at least in the interviews. Like, someone asked him, like, you know, would you buy the number? He's like, buy the number 2. He's like, do you see my signing bonus? You know, it's like there's been some good sort of deflecting, but, like, that's going to be the story. It's how does Shedeur look every time he enters a preseason game? How does it look? Like, this is part of the reason why there are teams who could have used and upgraded a backup quarterback, or could have sort of bought this lottery ticket and didn't, because they don't want to deal with that. The Browns are going to deal with it. But if he's as good as some people think he could be, they're going to get the rewards, and they're going to benefit for 10 years if he's the franchise starter. They hope he is.
If you find your franchise quarterback, nothing else matters. I think that has been proven.
Of course, who cares about anything else?
Exactly. That's been proven time and time again. I did appreciate how Stefanski handled why is Dylan Gabriel getting one's snaps instead of Shedeur, and Dylan Gabriel was drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders. I appreciate how Stefanski answered that question, though, because he didn't just say Dylan Gabriel was drafted higher. He talked about, like, none of these snaps matter. Right now, we're just trying to get looks. He, like, deflected on everything. So I think Stefanski understands the situation, because thinking and talking about from Dylan Gabriel's perspective is such an interesting one, because he hasn't even really been heard from, except for with what happens with our friend here, you know? So it's like, I don't know if Dylan Gabriel likes that. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel doesn't care. Could be a good thing, because he doesn't have to deal with literally anything. He's a quarterback that was drafted in the 3rd round to a team that doesn't have a starting quarterback, really. The biggest quarterback problem in the NFL, I think a lot of people would say, would be the Cleveland Browns, because they're paying the most in the history of the NFL for a quarterback that would not be their quarterback, and that's going to continue for a couple years. They bring Joe Flacco back on a very small deal, $4 million or something like that, and everybody's assuming he's their starter, which I assume he will be as well with Stefanski's offense. But Dylan Gabriel probably thinks 3rd round pick, I could potentially become a franchise quarterback here. And nobody is talking about that. That has not even been a conversation at all.
He's kind of been overlooked his whole run outside of draft. I know it surprised me that he went in the 3rd round and he went where he went amongst the quarterbacks, but he's kind of been overlooked. You know, he went to Oklahoma and went to Oregon and was still never really put on the same pedestal as those other guys, in my opinion. But I would think it would be a great spot. And I think he was asked a question, too, something about Shedeur and the reps or the questions, and he basically told the reporter, like, I think that question is divisive in itself. So he seems like he's ready for this moment as well. We always talk about it doesn't matter, you know, how you get in there, when you get in there, just take advantage of your opportunity and your reps. And it seems like him and Shedeur have kind of been handling everything perfectly up to this point.
I appreciate the hell out of you, Rapoport. The Shamar Stewart conversation, huge. The Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel conversation, huge. Ashton Genty's looking fast.
Chuck and Haney are now going to bang
Vrabel punching
They're saying
people.
Will Howard's the greatest quarterback they've ever seen. Come
Will Howard crush it
I
on.
didn't see that report.
What?
I did see that about Milroe, though.
You didn't see that?
No, yeah, no, I did see some.
Well, I guess
Saw
you
that
don't-
about Milroe.
You don't look at Caboli's tweets then?
Well, I saw him talking about Pickens.
Yeah.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, that's a big deal. We didn't touch.
What was that?
What's going on with George
What was
Pickens? Everybody's happy now?
What was the tweet you guys talking about?
And you put an IG story up.
That one was AI.
Yeah, I got him.
Oh no.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that was not George. Yeah, well, at least he said it was AI.
Oh, I was talking about
Caboli.
Caboli.
Caboli tweeted that everyone's the Steelers are happy.
Okay, yeah.
George is
That's
happy.
what I saw.
Thank God. Saw it briefly, quickly, kept it moving. I think everybody's happy with this.
Yeah, it was a win-win.
I think so.
I think so too. Like, I think the Steelers believe in the room. Now, I would expect them to add someone, like some receiver. There's a couple veterans who are pretty good still. Amari's still out there, right? Keenan Allen's still out there. DJ Chark. So, like, they could add someone. And then, you know, if I don't know if you guys know this, there's a quarterback who the Steelers may or may not get who does have some friends that he likes who are still good receivers.
Nah.
Possible
Brad Johnson.
that Yes, that is his name. Possible they might bring in a friend of Aaron just to sort of ease familiarity. So, like, I think the Steelers will be fine, but
Lazard.
I saw Jordy at the draft. Looks like he can still do it.
Definitely. The guy's ranching right now. He's literally wrestling steers.
Is that what he's doing in Kansas or something?
Not light ranch. He's doing some heavy ass ranch.
Real farmer.
Full.
Speaking of light ranching, Parker McCollum has a new song called Big Sky. Very good.
Okay.
Very good song.
That guy can sing.
How handsome is he, too? Isn't he ridiculously handsome?
I didn't really notice that, but the singing, I really.
Of course, whenever you're that good looking as you, how could you notice anybody else? We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Have a great day.
All right, take care, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapoport. He is the greatest.
Yeah,
you laid it on thick there with the Schefter report.
Well,
I didn't expect that.
You didn't?
I legitimately didn't. I thought you were going to acknowledge that Schefter definitely had the news, and it was submitted to ESPN. I did not expect it to come in the form of, hope you enjoyed lunch with your mom.
I was actually, I took a shot at my neighbor yesterday, like shit talking, and he was kind of taken back a little bit, and I was like, no, that means I like you. Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting. How much do you know your neighbor? Pretty well?
Starting to.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are learning about each other.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good luck over there.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for you. Yeah, because I think Rapoport understands completely.
Well, yeah, we've bonded recently. You know, he was here, he hosted in here, and then saw him a couple other times.
How great is Rap?
He's a good guy.
Just sat in the parking lot right there. Think about his shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Just dropped the phone a couple times.
Think about his shoulders. I couldn't even fathom. Couldn't even fathom what those are. Shoulders sore a little bit. Shoulders are big.
Yeah, it makes sense. Neck, I figure, would be much worse today. At least you sound good.
We'll talk about that. I was coughing early. I think it's because there's a chance that maybe both sides of my rib cage touched each other.
Okay.
A couple times. Not only when that man's lumbering frying pan hands were chopping shit out of my chest, but just when I was hitting that mat too. I mean, I don't think people really.
Yeah.
They do not. People have no idea. Yeah.
That's a real nice reminder every single time. It's like, oh my. Okay, so we're going to try to remain standing. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that is not and then all of a sudden you just feel like something just absolutely freight train through your body. It's like, oh my God. Your body literally just natural reaction is, get me out of here. And then all of a sudden you hit the boom, and it's like, oh my God, I thought we weren't going to fall again. I thought the plan was not to fall again. It was, that was quite a beating. Shout out to the people in St. Louis. They showed me a lot of love. There was a couple times I rolled over, and I was thinking about, well, why am I? I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing it right. Why am I? And there'd be somebody in the front row with their phone up going, because they felt bad for me, I think. I think they felt bad for me. Genuine, so sorry in there in St. Louis. So I appreciated that. And they know who they are, too, because we made direct eye contact with these people. And they can see what was going on through. Yep, we'll just smack each other. Come on, with his German accent. Come on. Oh, my gosh, what a time. Yep.
At any point in time with the crowd kind of brought you back.
When he was choking me out.
Yeah.
Because I was at a time where I'd been beaten down pretty good. So why not just go ahead and give up right now? Then he started, started really powering me up. I could really feel, let's just start fighting each other, I guess. All right. And that was,
laying him in.
Thank you, Gunther. And I told everybody, we're adding some padding. You know what I mean? We're adding some padding in there just in case we had to get into a chop shot. That one felt good. All right, we'll talk more about that here in a matter. That one felt pretty good, too. Nothing tore. And I feel like I represented for what was right, AJ. Hell yeah. Don't you?
Oh, film study work, too. You dodged one early, too. You knew it. You saw it coming.
I just see it. I got a little bit exhausted in there. Sometimes, they say everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. What happens when you lose all the air in your lungs? That's certainly a game changer as well. Monday Night Raw tonight on Netflix. What'll happen? We shall see. That was a great teaser. Just what will happen.
Yeah, what will know?
Especially after Backlash. I mean, there was some insane shit that took place there. Fun night in St. Louis.
Where is it tonight?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
With everything that's rolling right now, it's been quite a run. The NBA and the NHL, for real, you turn on the game, there's a good chance. 66% of the home teams are winning in the NHL. It's 50-50 in the NBA. But I think there's a 100% chance that one of the games that is on is going to be good.
Yes.
Yeah,
at least one, There's going to be a couple that have become like 4-0 Canes and then 2 game threes or just complete blowouts. Like, that's going to come. they hit on a more regular basis.
Yes.
I think sports are hitting right now on a more regular basis than they're not.
For sure. Like you said, the odds are you'll find a good one. It was a freaking buzzer beater in hockey the other night. I don't know if I've ever seen that
nice.
with Vegas. But, more times than not, you're going to get a banger. And playoffs just matters more. Guys are playing hurt, playing through things. Rotations get small, I know, in basketball. So I'm excited, man, especially about the games we got tonight.
Ty, how do you feel about your Golden Knights, pal?
I'll tell you what, I'll feel a lot better if Stoner's in the lineup tonight. I mean, I thought they were, cooked. He leaves in the first period, only had 6 shifts. Didn't look too bad, but you never know. I mean, hockey guys are the toughest sons of bitches on the face of the earth. So anytime you hear upper body, I was thinking like, shit, did Stoner break his neck? But we'll see. They, like you said earlier, if there's any way they can strap him up and get him on the ice, I would assume he's going to play because tonight's kind of like a Game 7 for the Golden Knights as well. It's kind of a must-win.
Who would know that answer if he's playing tonight? Nobody? Is that kind of the thing with hockey?
Who's the hockey insider?
Is it Elliott?
Freed would know. It always comes out real late, though. They'll hold it on.
So they let Freed in on it, but he's not allowed to release it till late? Or do you think they don't release anything till very late and they go to Elliott?
I think they're holding it tight to the chest right up until game time.
Who else? Weak season insider too, right?
Weak season insider, yeah.
Kaplan.
The hockey insider stuff seems a lot more difficult.
The teams also kind of have their own insiders. Like Dallas has their own one guy who always releases everything about the team.
Their own one guy.
Yeah.
Thought he had the name. Yeah. Didn't pull the trigger.
I tried to. If I pronounced it, I would have butchered it. So I apologize. It's Mike something.
Yeah, I know you're a mid. They had their own
one guy.
Yeah. One guy. Yeah, he was
He's good. He's
Stoner
good.
skated this morning for the morning skate, so that is usually a very good sign.
So Stoner's in skates.
Stoner's going to go, and Stoner's been fucking hot. They need him big time.
McJesus, though, brother.
No, I know. But
he's so fun.
But I wonder if a game like that, I mean, I guess not because it's hockey and it's kind of, hey, we got to win the next one anyway, but 0.4 seconds left, I mean, if that goes into overtime, if you're Edmonton, I'm sure you're feeling very good because of, McJesus and Draisaitl. But, I mean, that was just, that could be like a series, like a momentum-changing play in the series. We'll see. I hope it is.
Buzzer beater you talk about.
That goalie's way out there.
Get in the net.
Yeah.
He thought time was running out. Mm-hmm. He thought I just have to smother this quick.
That's Stu's skin, baby.
That's what we thought.
Yeah,
Riley
that's the problem.
I'll tell you, that is an awesome finish.
Yeah, incredible.
I didn't see that. I didn't get a chance to see the top view there. I think it's ESPN. During the power play, they put the name on the head, like the video game did, like 2K or whatever does. And that's nice.
It is.
Helps a lot.
I think that is good. Whoever has the puck, their name pops up above their head. I think it's a nice little addition.
It's great.
I don't think it eats up too much room. I think it gives a little bit of an awareness on where the hell the puck is. I think it's good. Obviously, hockey purists probably hate it if I had to guess, because anytime I like something like that helps me understand where the fuck the puck is, I seemingly am a rube who doesn't understand hockey and disrespect hockey. But it is like, I didn't grow up playing. I played some ball hockey, some deck hockey a little bit, but I don't know what the hell's going on. I know where we're trying to get to. I know we're dumping, we're that whole thing. But for like a casual fan, like turning the game on, there's times for like 30 seconds where you can't even see it because whether it's like hidden or something like that, I think that's a difficult thing for like a new fan. And I know hockey purists are going to hate it, but I think hockey's a great sport, and I think like a lot of people would love hockey if they understood it a little bit more. So I thought that was a good answer, because who had the blue beam behind? Fox. That was a little too much, I think. That was and I just learned this weekend that ESPN introduced the first down yellow line in 1998 or something like that. I believe that was debuted in 1998. Like, that's a great development. I assume at the time football purists hated it, but it's obviously helped. Fox has done a lot to innovate in the on-screen product. Sometimes shit's too much, but I think the little name tag is
I like it.
Yeah, I think so too, AJ. I think it's like the right answer in there,
It is. I like at least have it like on an alternate deal, like Amazon has. Don't they have their StatCast or wherever you can watch when it kind of shows the routes, and they have little people pop up and talk about like probabilities of next plays and stuff. Sometimes I enjoy watching that just to kind of see who's on the field and kind of how they disperse.
Well, that little red dot, that they started putting on guys that they thought were potentially going to blitz.
Blitzers,
It wasn't always right. I'll tell you, that analytics is going to get better, I would assume. But it is like a nice little addition for the people who kind of want to be captivated as opposed to just a passerby.
That's kind of for like probably the junkies. I know when I watch on the Amazon, it's almost like watching the film at the same time as watching the game. You get the all 22, and you can literally see the routes in real time. You can see the coverages and the potential blitzers. So for the people who really want it, the casual fan, definitely too much. And then, like AJ said, the little person that pops up gives you a cool little stat, then kind of goes away. That's a good little
hockey could do all that, I assume, right? Yeah, that seems like something they could easily do because it's a confined space. There's only 5 dudes out there at one time. I mean, goalie, obviously, but there's only 5 guys. You would assume that they'd be able to
changing the lines and shit like that.
Well, that's the big thing. If you're a casual fan and you're just popping in, like everyone kind of looks the same. So if you're not a fan and you don't know the numbers, like if you want to, and you're in this like renaissance right now, if you want to create new fans, like you might see a guy do something sick out there with the puck, and it's like, well, who the fuck is that guy? I have no idea. If his name's below, and it's like, oh, did you just see what Connor McDavid just did out there before that goal? Like, that could help.
Maybe even a little speed next to him every once in a while. If he's going to a top speed. If not every time. Yeah. Not every time. We don't need a speed every time. But if he gets to like 24 and a half, 25 miles an hour, which I assume McDavid does.
No doubt.
He did the other night for sure.
He looks so fast.
Yeah.
He is always so fast out there. You can add that right to the right side probably of that little thing. Okay, now see now we're doing too much probably is what the hockey
got to do something with the puck. Got to bring the glow puck back somehow. A new version, at least try it out. Maybe for the preseason, whatever.
But that's what the name takes away. Like if you have the name above the player, then you don't need to glow the puck because you're right. That guy's name's lit up like he has the puck. And like if we're saying casual and not casual when it comes to a fan, like I consider myself a casual because I'm not watching 82 games every single year and I'm not watching every team. I'm only watching my team. Like even if you're watching every game, how often are you watching, a Winnipeg game and an Oilers game in the same night because they're playing at the same exact time?
See this?
Yeah, I'm in on this.
Yeah, I think it's a good answer. I was a fan.
It tells you where the puck is.
I was pitching hard to the people that do this. And granted, there's no way they took anything I said seriously, or maybe they did. I'm not 100% sure. But I was just I had a chance to be in the same room as the people that are kind of in charge of this, I think. And at least that's how I was conveyed. And I told him, like, can we not just do like a little blue hue around the puck? We don't need the huge one. It feels like pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. But can we just get a little bit of a highlight on the puck so people know where it is? And I assume they already had this in the tank. But instead of that, like, this is a good answer for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This is a great answer for that. And I applaud them for adding it.
This is what the old hockey game did, right? Remember the old school back in the day, like whoever had the puck, it would pop up and they'd light up like this. And that, I would assume they got the idea possibly from that.
Yeah, and it doesn't eat up too much. It's not sitting on other people's bodies mostly. It's like I think it's good. I think hockey's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's the best.
I think hockey is incredibly awesome. And the little bullshit petty stuff too. I love that.
So sweet.
Like at the end of the game.
Yes.
End of the Panthers-Leafs game. Like that was just like so petty, so like, and there will be repercussions for this.
Yep.
Like it's like such an old school type game. And I think they got a lot of great personalities. I think we just haven't got a chance to meet them. And we can learn their names. That'd be cool. So, like, the name tag thing on top of them is cool. Because people should see C. McDavid whenever he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
People should know who the hell that is. Now, the commentators might be saying it, but guess what? The sound might not be on.
I love this.
Yeah, exactly.
And the best thing about the shit with hockey, and all sports do it with sportsmanship and shit after the game, but when the series is over, they all line up and go and, exchange their handshakes and they say their pleasantries or unpleasantries. I think that's awesome as well.
I think me and Gunther had that moment.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing because the ref was like, hey, Gunther would like you to stand in the middle of the ring, something like that. And then Gunther was asking the ref, when are we back on camera? And then they said now. Then he did this, and then he left. I was very appreciative of that. I thought that was a cool thing. Now, my whole body hurt.
Sure.
Whole body hurt. But I did appreciate the fact that and that's like what you're talking about at the end of a series.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we just hacked the shit out of each other. A lot of games. I was going for your wrist. You could probably feel that. I was doing that. Your wrist probably felt that a little bit. Yeah, I was giving you a little extra. I actually did a little heel pick.
Mm-hmm. The slew foot.
That's on me, a little slew foot on you. I'm so sorry about that. Good series. Good series.
You get it.
I'm so sorry I did I licked your face. Good series. See you later. And things move on. Hockey's great, man. Hockey really is. How about this draft lottery, AJ? I don't know who asked it about. I think Tone asked it to Shams, and it was a good question. Hey, who's this draft lottery loaded for tonight? Okay, because we know, because LeBron literally comes on the LeBron conversation and he goes, I understood the assignment. Okay. Draft lottery, Cleveland. Kid from Cleveland. I understood the assignment. And then he talked about how he tried to represent for that kind of honor that was bestowed upon him. And, everybody took that for exactly what he said there, is as if the NBA, Cleveland's ball is going to be a little heavier. Is that how you load a lottery? The ball's a little heavier, or is it lighter?
They said Patrick Ewing, they froze the envelope, so when they reached in, they could feel it.
Okay, I like that. They're not doing the ball? Is it
back? I'm saying for back.
Before they
it's even lighter.
Okay, so that's another thing you can do. If you ever get into credit card roulette and you want somebody else to pay or yourself to pay, depending upon how you want it to end up, you can just put a little tape on a corner and have it be a rugged edge, and then you just tell whoever's picking to touch the rugged edge. You know what I mean? Like there's one that will not have a smooth edge. It'll have tape crumbled. So the frozen one, also a good idea. But for the lottery, there's been gimmick lotteries before, hasn't there? I assume.
They say.
Yeah,
definitely.
I assume somebody has games.
Rose. Yeah, Derrick Rose, they had like a 1% chance or maybe less than that and ended up getting the first pick. He's from Chicago.
But let's say outside of the NBA, somebody's gimmicked the lottery before, I
Definitely.
Probably.
When it comes to picking the balls out of the little spinny deal?
Yeah, like the actual Powerball and shit. Maybe not the Powerball because it's too big, but don't they have like daily lotteries?
Oh, yeah, they got daily three pick, yeah.
I mean, bingo.
Throughout the history, somebody has had to have gimmicked the ball. What would it be? It would make it lighter so it goes up faster? How would you gimmick
Put
it?
more of those balls in there.
You would load the balls?
Yeah.
Can't we see that? I mean, if I'm running the NBA, I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it. I want big market team to get my number one guy.
I mean, Spurs and Wemby, it just happened. Obviously, the Spurs had a high number, but
why would they want Wemby in San Antonio?
The Spurs are like the biggest international brand, you could argue, because like Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, France's most famous player is Tony Parker, basically. And he had all that success with Popovich. I mean, the Spurs, they got the number one pick, David Robinson, center, number one pick, Tim
And the
Duncan.
NBA says it's not the case. We just put an equal percentage of balls out there, and we let the lottery happen however it can happen. And to be clear, that's why you have the ball lottery, is so that there is a randomness to it and anything could happen, is what the NBA would say.
The argument against would be like Zion.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to New Orleans, because I thought, he's going to the Knicks. Like somehow, some way they're going to get him, because he was the most hyped prospect since LeBron.
Exactly.
And then for him to go to New Orleans, which we just saw Anthony Davis kind of forcing himself out of, that was kind of odd. But maybe that's how they.
But you could also argue the other way with Zion's had a bunch of stuff kind of on him, but we've seen the organization hasn't exactly been the best with getting him out there when he's ready to play or letting him go. So they could be like, hey, we got a guy like Cooper Flagg, we don't want him going to a shitty franchise. This guy could be a 15, 20-year NBA great. Let's make sure that of all the teams that are available here.
No, but it's a lottery.
It's a lottery, right?
Yeah, it's a lottery.
Right. To Ty's point, too, though, the Knicks wouldn't qualify because the Knicks are like a Cowboys, where it's like, hey, people are going to watch the Knicks and they're going to love them if they're good, and they're going to love to hate them if they're bad. Like the Pelicans, it's hey, maybe we can kind of grow it. Same with San Antonio. It's like, hey, when the Spurs aren't that good, no one really cares. But when they are good, with Steph Curry, the Alamo Dome. Remember, they set the record for most people at a basketball game just last year, and that was against the Spurs with Steph in the Alamo Dome.
Okay, so we have some updates on rigging of a lottery before.
All right.
I think it happened in Pittsburgh.
Oh, here we go.
The room was locked with two keys. Perry had one, and Plevel had the other. Plevel left the machines and balls unguarded for several minutes on a few occasions. Perry also got WTAE stagehand Fred Lumen to physically switch the original balls with the weighted ones twice. Once before and once after the drawing. So the weighted ball. So I thought I knew. So I've heard of this before. Yes, this has happened in Pittsburgh. Okay, shout out Pittsburgh, by the way.
1980? Of course, Pittsburgh.
You know who put it
Shout out Pittsburgh.
You know who put an end to that? You know who caught it?
Who's that?
Joe DeNoro.
Yeah, Joe Nordo had a little bit of a Doppler on the entire situation.
Yeah, he did. He caught him and he turned him into the authorities.
If Philly wins tonight,
Joe.
I would say, this is
Joe ain't no
for
snitch.
sure.
Philly?
Yeah.
No, he took it in his own hands.
Just because he's a Northeast kid, Cooper Flagg, but also, they would immediately become unbelievable. They would have Tyrese Maxey, who's super young, Embiid and Paul George. Forget about them. I'm just saying, the next 5 or 6 years with Maxey and Cooper Flagg, that would be incredible. And the Sixers are they're a big brand.
Yeah, you brought the Sixers a few times. Do you think they're going to trade to get up there, or how does it work? I don't think I fully understand this.
I think they could trade to get up there.
Wait, trading or the
Just the whole thing. Is every team represented in there?
no?
No,
just,
you get more balls,
just-
right? You get more balls if you're up higher, right?
Yeah, I thought it was loaded for the teams that stink, but maybe so not everybody has a ball in the race.
Those top 3 teams, those 14%, they have the most balls in there.
Okay, they have a 14% chance to be pulled. Got it. How many balls? I guess we could figure that out. They probably know.
Probably that many.
Yeah, we'd have to do the math. So many.
14% of 100.
Yeah, but is it
100 balls
Yeah,
or is it
yeah,
372 or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, exactly. What is you always got to look at the denominator.
Exactly.
You always got to look at the denominator.
That's right.
You always have to, but nonetheless, should be exciting because everybody thinks he's going to change the game. And what was the stat we learned from a trivia question earlier today? First time since
1979.
78?
77.
70-something.
Right around there.
In the change the game thing, let's slow down.
What's that?
Let's just slow down. Okay? Because how long has Wemby been in the league?
Yeah.
The game really hasn't changed yet, has it? It takes some time.
Yeah, I think when the Wemby era is going to be wild.
When he's on the court, it's different.
The Wemby era is going to be wild.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, right. He had blood clots or something. Like he had a serious situation, right?
Yeah, blood clots in his shoulder, but they said he was going to be fine.
Okay.
I mean, no disrespect to any of those top 3 teams, but I would imagine the NBA said, fuck that. All 3 of these.
Except for-
Fuck
yeah,
it.
except
Fuck
for the
it.
Jazz.
He's not going to Utah.
Yeah.
He's not going to Washington.
I
They
bet you-
sucked forever, and fuck the Hornets.
bet you
No
Don't
way.
there either.
No
I bet you
way.
they'd love-
Rig it. Send him to fucking Chicago. Send it in.
No way.
They wouldn't mind him in DC, I bet. That's pretty big market.
Houston?
Indiana.
Is he okay?
Do we have it? No.
No.
No, you're
I
not.
don't think you're in there.
We're still dancing, bro.
I could see
What if the
San
Hawks get it?
Antonio.
Me too.
The
I
Hawks
could
be
see the
nasty.
Spurs.
Cooper, Flag,
Yeah.
and Wemby.
In which
Didn't they
case-
have the?
That's
San
who I think it
Antonio.
is.
Didn't they have 2 tall guys
Oh, yeah.
really good?
David Robinson.
Yeah, David Robinson
Twin
and Tim
Towers.
Duncan.
Twin Tower, right? Yes. So, I mean, bring back the storyline, brother. Down there.
See, I can see him saying that. We like that time.
And they got the rookie of
Right?
the year this year.
And El Jefe.
yeah.
You know,
And El Jefe. Don't forget about El Jefe.
And they might get Giannis.
I don't think that's how you pronounce his name.
Giannis. I'm going to start calling him Giannis.
In Texas, it is,
He's
actually.
been in the U.S. long enough. He's no longer Giannis. He's
No,
Giannis.
I think it's cool that his name is Giannis.
And
with the G.
Giannis eats gyros.
He's been Americanized. He's Giannis.
I do order gyros, though.
Yeah, because
I've been
Giannis
Americanized.
eats gyros.
I'll tell you what, that pickle, is that what it is? It's a pickle what? It's
Cucumber, I believe.
Cucumber
sauce.
That's what you always get
tzatziki.
the next
Yeah,
day.
tzatziki.
Little tzatziki, yeah.
It's always the next day.
good.
That's always the thing. All right, speaking of the next day, I was pretty beat up yesterday, AJ. I was pretty beat up yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about it too much, but a sweet video was pieced together. It kind of tells the story of why my left shoulder's a lot of pain today.
Mm-hmm.
Collarbone here across.
Yep.
A lot of pain today.
Yeah.
Even in the arm over here.
Mm-hmm.
This shoulder, see also. Don't know why. Potentially just from.
Because you threw a lot.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
would have been, yeah. Did you see me hit the? You saw me hit.
Oh, yeah. I love the overhand. I love it. And the whole time, like, I hope you're. Yeah. I just think, what are you thinking right now in this moment?
Dude.
Like, ooh, that was so sweet. Like that's,
Yeah,
that's what I feel.
I actually thought to myself, like, that was the there's a fighter in that virtual reality series Thrill of the Fight, I think is the name of the game in Meta Universe. They're one of the champions is huge.
The Spider?
Spider, yeah. Spider is the huge one. And literally, as I was in there throwing the left to the body, boom, yeah, that's exactly my thought. Bang, now that's right where it would have happened. But I just had to hit him a couple. Oh, there it is. Boom, bang. And it didn't drop him like it did Spider, though.
Sure.
Felt like with Spider, whenever I hit, he went down if I got the button. But yeah, it was very different. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about how I got to that point into maybe just show this video because it's a piece of my life, I think, forever it will be a piece of my life as a conversation and all of it. Like, I don't know how many people sign up to fight Gunther, you know?
How many?
Nobody signed
Especially
up.
when you see him. How about when you guys
Yeah.
were trying to get to him?
It's fucking huge.
She massive.
He walks by you and all that thing.
He's the ring general.
He is the ring general. He's intimidating. But I did what I had to do. Run it, Foxy!
The legacy of this great sport, and the World Heavyweight Championship belong to me.
This particular Wrestlemania will be one that Jey Uso will remember for the rest of his life. You feel it? It's housing! Gunther taps out! Jey Uso's world champion! Gunther tapped out! You did it, Jey! Gunther tapped out! Jey Uso winning his first world championship, tapping out the ring general, Gunther, who for the second year in a row at WrestleMania lost to a massive underdog.
I'm sick and tired of YouTube. Michael, if you got something to say to me, tell me right now.
Look, I'm doing my job. I'm not the one who tapped out.
Gunther has been fined an undisclosed amount and suspended indefinitely.
I think there's a lot of people that have forgotten who the hell I am. You must ride for those that ride for you. You're either with me or against me. You got a problem with Cole, you got a problem with me, Gunther. I want to fight Gunther ASAP.
We can lift the suspension on Gunther in a sanctioned contest at Backlash.
Deal.
I'm going to show up more focused than ever before. I'm going to maul you. I'm going to grab you by the hair and drive it into this mat.
You've gotten jaded. You've gotten too damn comfortable. It happened with Sami Zayn. It happened with Jey Uso. And on Saturday, you're going to underestimate me. And I'm going to prove to you and all these people that this version of Gunther is soft.
Only the grace of God can lift my arms off your throat.
My partner and friend, Pat McAfee, steps into the ring to face the ring general, Gunther. He's going in there against a very vicious and a very violent man.
Enough of this, end the match!
Michael Cole has left the damn desk, you absolute nutcase! Sleeper locked in deep on the ring general. Gunther now furious, completely enraged. That is over. A rare show of respect. Pat McAfee, that was absolutely incredible.
What an honor it was to get in there, AJ. What a great story, and shout out to the WWE for letting me do that. It was a great weekend of sports. It wasn't just Backlash. Obviously, the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs were happening, but also there was a shit ton happening around the sports world. Now, listen, we had to write notes on these things because I'll tell you, You've never heard of these people. You have no idea where these are coming from. And these things need to be seen. Okay, there's a couple golf things that happen from people that we don't know, let alone what happened to Lowry on the 18th green of the Truist over there in Philadelphia. He goes from birdie to co-lead one of the super events that they're having with a lot of money, more money than anything else. He goes from birdie to potentially co-lead from like 6-7 feet, powers it past the hole. Oh no, heartbreaker. Okay. Now, if he makes this, he'll probably just get second place or whatever. Misses a short one. Oh, no. Then he bogeys on the 18th green with a 3-putt to tie Justin Thomas to take second place in his entire thing. And then Justin Thomas himself, he missed a 3-footer earlier in the day. Oh, no.
Yikes.
To lose one to go in there. Golf is so hard. Golf is so... So I just putt 5 times during that video, went to the bathroom, then did like 5 putts here. Didn't make one of them. It didn't make one of them. I have no idea how they do it at such a rapid rate. But there's people that say you don't need a putter. Ryan Fox at the Myrtle Beach Classic in the first playoff hole. Boom, chips in for eagle. Thanks for coming. I win the Myrtle Beach Classic. That event looked very lit. Myrtle Beach is obviously a great time. This guy, Ryan Fox, earned himself an opportunity to be in the
PGA Championship
this weekend with this win. So if you weren't in a super duper event that was being played at the Truist, the PGA Tour held another event, the Myrtle Beach Classic, and Ryan Fox chips in on the first playoff hole for an eagle to win that thing. That didn't feel so good as it was rolling. Oh, just maybe. Maybe. Oh, I won. Look at the other guy. Jesus.
Kidding me?
That's how we're doing this thing. I respect the shit out of that. Let's stay in the golf world. Let's go to the Epson Tour. The Epson Tour. Here's Laura Wern. Eagle, final hole. Lefty, inverted wedge. Camera person, follow the ball. Got it. Bingo.
Bucket.
Love that.
You miss a bunch of putts, Lowry. Justin Thomas, me during the break. Just start golfing without it. Laura Wern, able to flip the wedge upside down to chip in for eagle. Congrats to both of them. The golf world obviously representing. Now let's go to the horses. Last hole. Yeah, it feels so good. Everybody's watching too up here.
Yeah.
Let's go to the racing world. In the Belmont at the Big AA Peter Pan race. McAfee down the stretch. Captain Cook, who was in the lead earlier, battling, fighting. Oh, no. Oh, no.
McAfee's going to do it.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
Oh, no. Hill Road says, this thing's mine. From third to first. What an absolute beast Hill Road is. Yeah. And McAfee, good effort out there. Hope you have a long, long life.
Yeah, unlike horse 7.
What's that?
Unlike horse 7. That thing fell behind quick and... It is now glue.
It's going to be no. It's going to be a working horse.
It's either glue or it's shoulders up or is on a wall somewhere.
No, they don't mount horses.
I think he could.
The amount of horse like this here, which is what this horse is going to be doing, giving tours and things like that.
I genuinely hope so.
I heard about somebody who goes camping with horses. So there's a camp option, maybe in Tennessee somewhere, where you go.
That's what they're calling it now.
What else would you call it?
This guy doesn't even know you don't even know what I'm talking about.
I remember when I was a kid, we had to send my dog to a farm. It sounds like that's what
No!
You gotta go camping with horses.
I'm talking about people take this as a vacation where you ride trails on the horse through the hills or the mountains, and then you stay at cabins that are kind of built along the way, and it's an entire camping. What are you talking
peaceful.
about? Yes, it sounds like a great trip.
Yeah.
And then you tie up the horses, I guess. You do the whole thing. It's it sounded like a great idea. Somebody said, "Oh, me and the wife are going
off the grid."
And then they started talking about it. I said, "You're riding a fucking horse from where to where? Through the mountains, through the hills, taking pictures, I guess, through creeks. They're going through fucking creeks."
Love that. No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Legs
I've never ridden a horse before. Let's go fucking take this horse up a mountain and just hope I don't get bucked off and hit my head on a rock and fucking die.
Thank you.
The cabin's great though. I hitched that thing. It was awesome. He ran away. We had no way to fucking get back down to our car, but it was a great weekend.
That's not how it's
Can you imagine that though? You've never ridden a horse before. Like, yeah, we're just gonna go up that mountain. There's a cabin. It's only like 8,000 feet up there. Just get on the horse's back and just kind of fucking do this a couple times. He'll take you right there.
It's probably how it happened.
I assume there's some sort of training class you have to pass.
I would hope so.
Got to be a guide, right? Some kind of guide leading you.
You never know.
I was just thinking of me signing up for this.
Yeah.
And Sam, be like, yeah, we can fucking ride a horse.
Yeah, it'd be so fun.
Us getting there, they're like, all right, you got to cross this creek. Yeah. Horse might get slipped, might be a little bit uncomfortable, especially with the water. How are you going to handle it? You're going to want to kick your left leg. Yeah, you're going to want to kick your left leg into the left chest. That'll tell the horse that you want to turn right or veer right a little bit. Obviously, like whenever I was doing that rodeo stuff with Montana State, and they're like, all right, you're going to ride this horse in a circle. I thought I was going to ride the horse. They were pitching for me to like do the wrestle the steer thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going off a horse like they do.
You jump off a moving horse?
That's what I said. No, I said absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
I said absolutely.
Break both my legs.
Absolutely, why not? I don't know how to ride a horse, but they never said that. They were like, we'll put you on the ground. You just be able to run this entire thing, and if worse comes to worse, put you on an ATV or whatever. We wouldn't want to put you on the back of a horse. We're thinking for the back of a horse, you just kind of ride in a circle. And I think the reason why they did that is because they knew that I had little to no experience. But riding a horse, like, there's a full communication process between rider and horse that you have to know. These fuckers are smart.
Yeah.
These horses are so.
They know if you're scared. They know they can read you. They know if you're scared for sure.
But the amount of messages, like a versus like a whistle versus like a little bit of a little thing like that, like let alone you saw. I mean, Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg's
dressage.
Play-by-play commentary of the dressage.
Olympics, yeah.
Yeah, the horse dressage at the Olympics or whatever. It's like these horses are so big, though.
Yeah. Horsefly comes along, like something you can't even plan for, bites your horse. All of a sudden, you are legitimately drowning in a creek.
Yeah.
Because you got knocked out.
Or just like it goes right, and you're like, this fucking thing won't listen to me. I need to go this way. I'm been fucking kicking him. He's not listening.
Yank it.
Yeah. And then you end up pissing him off, and he's like, all right, fuck this guy.
Takes off.
No, but there's probably some positive here.
I would assume so.
Yeah. How about those horses downtown? They got to lug people around town.
Those things hate doing it.
Yeah, I feel so
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it one bit.
I think I'm a big fan of horses. I think I've become just because of how big they are.
We should buy those and just keep them here.
No way. Have you heard the amount of work they are?
Yeah,
a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Tim would love to do it.
The ones downtown.
Yeah, we need to add that to Tim's life.
Those ones downtown are begging.
All right.
Wait, are they like rickshaws? You're saying you got little
Clydesdales pulling them around.
All right, let's talk about a couple horses with baseball bats, shall we? These are things that are happening around the sports world. How about in baseball, Ty? This is still going on. Aaron Judge is on a historic run right now, Ty.
Yeah, absolutely. Judgey, once again on Saturday, hits 2 dingers. He is tied for the league lead with 14 home runs. Wearing the Mother's Day garb, too, which is a big deal. The Yankees, once again, they ruined this Judge performance, unfortunately. Lost this game, which they've kind of been doing, wasting historic performances from him. So 2 big bombs on Saturday. And
so that's a home run there.
Yes. Again, the A's are playing in West Sacramento, and a lot of guys have been saying, it's Mickey Mouse. This is a AAA park, so they have that big batter's eye in center field. Also, no top deck, behind home plate. So on certain days in regular MLB stadiums, that deck helps cover the sun and changes the wind. They've basically been saying outfielders, major league outfielders in that stadium, don't know what the fuck to do because the wind's weird. They have to, the sun is crazy. So it's quite the challenge playing there.
I'll tell you what, a baseball in the sun.
It's tough.
I mean, those are about the same size.
You got to use your glove. You got to use your glove to block the sun until the last second.
Yeah, you see a lot of this in Little League.
Yeah, you block the sun, then when you get to it, boom, you got to take it down and get it.
What is it, AJ?
You got to block the sun with your glove, hold, and then it's always like having late hands as a receiver. Same thing.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
And boom. And boom.
There it is.
You got it.
Just do it like that's Savannah Bananas, dude.
Oh my goodness! I watched some of that live the other day. They were playing it wherever they were with Giant place. I don't know if it was Tennessee or another place.
Yeah,
Tennessee. They sold out another the Nissan Field down there. Sports that are happening in the world right now. Savannah Bananas are selling out stadiums. So, shout out to Cam Ward.
Hell yeah!
Cam Ward's first appearance is in front of a sold out Nissan Field for the Savannah Bananas. What an atmosphere! I'll tell you, nothing but respect for what they got going on.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, nothing but respect. In the the ability to, entertain folks is one thing. The ability to sustain success at a rate where you're selling out stadiums on a regular basis is a whole nother thing. Congrats on the business. Congrats on the sport. Congrats on the Savannah Bananas doing their thing.
Unreal.
They're on the pivot, I believe.
Yep.
And there's
Yeah.
a lot more information kind of released. I only got to see some of the clips. I was kind of busy this week, and I will certainly catch up throughout the week to it all. But it's like, I'm impressed by what they're doing. It's good for baseball, brother. I view them as like, they probably have the same demo as like Dude Perfect.
Yeah, I would agree.
So that's great for future. Like Dude Perfect obviously has a huge fan base. They sell out arenas. They have a amusement park that they're building, I believe. They have like obviously a couple massive things. Dude Perfect, the way they've gone about doing what they're doing. And also the talent. I mean, Tyler's
a beast.
Tyler and the boys got a lot of talent, just like sports-wise, let alone whenever you come to figuring out the internet and being able to create content that goes. Everybody's able to do it, allegedly, until people try to do it. But it's like these dudes are like good.
Coach Rack.
Oh, yeah. Real
Coach
talent.
Rack right there.
Really?
My son knew, like my 12-year-old, this would happen to be on. He said, my son, it's Coach Rack. He's got a YouTube stuff. Like kids know these guys for sure.
Absolutely. And live, they're doing shit that's insane. Now, I'm assuming there's some misses every once in a while as well when they try things. That's naturally. But like the outfielder batting the ball up in the air and then catching it and then throwing it's like, obviously I assume baseball players think that's an easy thing. But for me, it's like I see people drop that shit. So it's like for that guy to have the moxie in front of 70,000 people to perform that, it's like mad respect for that. And then it looks like they have some shit. Pitchers can do a full dance routine and then still throw a strike. Now, granted, it's probably 80-something miles an hour or whatever the case is. But most pitchers have like a full, 30. They had to put a shot clock on because pitchers had such a long routine. It's like their ability to perform is very, very impressive.
Yeah, that's the biggest. I mean, you see guys in the majors like Judge or Ohtani, like those guys will go 0 for 4 on any given night. It's like the margin for error really with these guys, like they have to be on every single time they go out there because you can't be doing the gimmicky bullshit, doing backflips and then
dropping balls.
Yeah, exactly, because it kind of it diminishes everything. And these people aren't. You're probably only seeing the bananas, like if you're taking your kids, you're seeing them once. Now, they might come back next year, but like they need to perform every single time they go out there. And by and large, like they do every single time.
Congrats to the bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Need to get to a game. They were here in Indy. We missed it. I forget the schedule.
It was raining.
Hey, that ump behind the plate, that dude's got a bunch of mocks. He's dancing every single pitch and then dialing it right before the ball comes. He dials in. He gives you perfect, accurate calls.
Yeah, he's got good aura when you're around him. Yeah, he's got good eye.
Yeah, he does.
I don't see a lot of challenges.
He's do the World Series.
Indy might be small potatoes now for them, too.
Definitely.
Definitely.
It's like I don't think they'll be coming back here.
They'd have to do
I think we missed that.
Like legit, they're fucking
Lucas
selling
Oil.
80,000 tickets. Like, hey, you want to go do Victory Field?
No,
9,000 people.
Yeah, go to Lucas Oil.
They'll go to Lucas Oil. They'll go to the Lot House.
That's football. That's where the Colts play.
And somehow one of them will put it out that window. Of
course.
That would be sweet.
That would be sweet. Pacers bring this city alive, brother.
Pacers are legit, man. They're legit.
I don't want to look ahead. Let's look ahead.
Okay.
I don't want to do it. We have to do it.
But, it's being talked about.
Yeah, don't want to, have to. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 3, first home game for the Eastern Conference Finals for the Pacers. I think would be the same day as the Indy 500.
Yeah, it would be Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Last year it was Saturday. This year they're saying it would be Sunday, which is race day.
That's not great.
No, it's not.
That's double booking, brother.
Yeah.
There's no
Can't be in this town. That can't be happening. They're going to have to, that's projections. Now, who knows if they change that or are able to change that, especially with how scheduling goes this far out and everything like that. But it's like, that'll be a lively day here in Indianapolis for sure. But it's also like, we need some people in that arena going crazy. People have had traditions on race day for like 100 years in their family here in Indianapolis. It's like, that'll be an interesting scene. They need to move that.
The Hoosiers
The race?
show up. They'll show up. They'll show up.
The problem is, though,
both places.
Last year.
The game's at 8 o'clock. You go after the race.
But that's what I was just going to say. Last year, the race got delayed. And if you remember, the race didn't finish till
leave the race
like 7 o'clock.
Leave the race. What are you talking about?
Leave the cars driving in circles.
That ain't what it is.
Tony,
You know that ain't what it is.
That kind of is what it is, Tony. Good point.
What are you
But they are
talking
racing.
about?
They are
Yeah,
racing,
that's
though,
right.
D, but it
They're
is a
going
race.
fast.
Technically, yeah.
They're going fast.
They're not rubbing, though, so is it really racing?
I saw Scott Dixon in a crowd at the Pacers game going crazy. Just a few years back, he was coming down straightaway. His car gets put up in the air, flipped over sideways. Are they rubbing, you're asking? Yeah, they're racing. Unlike, I don't even need to say it.
Don't do it.
I won't.
We got a great movie coming out.
Oh, great movie. Exactly. That's the.
Yeah, that will be 1,000 times better than any F1 race ever.
Yeah, all of them combined.
In perpetuity for the rest of time.
I have been told that we potentially have been invited to a G1 race.
Is Brad Pitt going to be there with the movie?
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise.
I don't think it's a screener.
Oh, okay.
I don't
No
know.
thanks.
What city?
It's a real one, all right?
I don't know. It's
what
where
city
do
is
you
it?
guys
Austin?
go? Where does the G1 crew go? Are they in America?
Yeah, a lot.
Miami,
just did
Austin?
Miami, Austin, Vegas, Miami, Austin,
The
Vegas.
Vegas one stinks, all right?
Those, no, just late. It's a late start time. I think they will bump it up early.
I don't know those. Where do they go overseas? Where they go in
Well,
Europe?
they're in Italy this weekend. I believe.
Italy.
Yeah,
Grazie.
okay.
Wow, beautiful.
I like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
Monaco.
I
We
mean,
need to go to
why-
one of them international ones. Really be hated.
Yeah, we should go. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
We should go to one of those. That'd be good.
Do they do them in London?
Yes.
Okay.
Silverstone.
Okay.
London seems to be very accessible.
Yeah.
It's becoming like a very new, very new, interesting trend. Is like, because remember Jim Irsay told us that they were planning on putting a team in London. Seemingly, he said, alluded to the fact that there was going to be a team in London when they heard the Concorde.
Correct.
The airplane was going to go sonic.
Yeah, supersonic.
Supersonic.
2030, I think, is what he said.
Yeah, and the speed, the time it would take would be like 4 hours or something, or 3 hours from New York to London. So that was like a part of the plans for the NFL team in London. So I assume there's going to become some plane system. Maybe not.
Why haven't we got it done yet?
Well,
It's in the works. The new one is coming. That's what Irsay did say. The new one, like there's a new one in production, hopefully to come out eventually.
Every time I see one of these new planes, I always think to myself, okay, that's when it's coming out. When will I be okay going on it?
Sure.
You know, that's always
You need a
the-
high-speed rail system over
Over there?
underneath.
No.
Took it over there?
Huh?
Oh, on top.
Might take a while to build the track.
Ocean's
The ocean.
kind of big.
Yeah.
It might. It might.
There's a chance because we got to get pillars. You know, poles.
They got the channel.
I've
They
seen
got
the
the channel
Golden Gate
tunnel
Bridge.
over
They
there.
can do it.
Well, where's the Mariana Trench? That's the real question.
Because you have to go because that's the deepest part, right?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
That's where Jim went down, Cameron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's coming out this year.
I've seen stuff down there, brother.
Fire and water or whatever.
What is down there?
Another Avatar? Another one?
Godzilla.
Did you finish that last one?
I don't know how many are there. I'm not sure.
There's two.
Last one was sad.
Oh, I've never from start to finish. I have not, but I've caught the second one, here and there.
I was not able to finish the second one. Those whales kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, it
Sure.
was sad.
Yeah.
It's not what I came for.
Yeah, the next one's gonna be great though.
Huh?
Where are
The
they?
next one's gonna be great.
I hope so.
What do you mean, where
They're
are
on
they?
Pandora.
Pandora
Are they underwater? Are they not underwater? Where are
Move to another part of town, please.
It's
Jesus.
fire and water.
I'm so sick of this.
There's different.
Let's go back to baseball. It's not just Judge who's doing awesome stuff. I seen that the Los Angeles Dodgers already have the biggest superstar in the world. Now he's doing some superstar in the world stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Earlier in the game, well, I guess if we want to go to this part, yeah. But so context behind this: Shohei hits a big old bomb, and you can see him raise his arms right there and kind of give a fist pump. This was part of a sixth-run ninth inning for the Dodgers. They came in down 11-8. And the reason he did that, a lot of people are guessing, is because this man, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., basically did the same thing earlier in the game, hit a grand slam for the Diamondbacks, and a lot of people were saying that that's kind of Shohei's big moment home run celebration. So Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Kind of taking a shot at him, doing it earlier in the game, and Shohei later on said, hey, you know what? We just erased a 6-run deficit. You kind of took a shot at me earlier. Fuck you.
No, I don't think that's what Shohei would never say.
I don't know. Shohei's got a little
Japanese,
more
yeah.
gumption to him this year. Because
Really?
I think so. I think so. And he's okay with saying, like, hey, that was cute. You hit a grand slam earlier. I do it when it matters, okay?
We love Shohei, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes.
fuck you if I've ever seen one.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. Especially if you place it that way. I don't know the full context behind it because I don't know enough about baseball. But if Shohei's going to start having a little bit bat flip, now I know baseball purists are going to hate it.
Nah, I think people are coming around on that.
Okay.
I do.
Because I think Shohei was a baseball purist I think how Shohei was operating was as a guy who just loves the sport of baseball.
Plays it the right way.
Wants to respect baseball. I think that's kind of how he's always gone about it. So if you're saying that baseball society is coming around on the bat flip, maybe that means Shohei feels a little bit more free to, let the boys know he's having a good time. And also, he understands that he just did something. He's special, dude, right?
He's very special.
Yeah, this guy is, are they going to let him pitch?
I don't know. Again, we've talked about this a bunch. The Dodgers pitching staff is just so deep, and he's really starting to hit his stride right now. In the last 10 games, Shohei is 11-30, so he's batting .367, 3 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, and 10 RBIs. I don't want to say he had a slow start, but he's really starting. And every time he hits a home run, he hits it like 500 miles an hour. Like, you can barely see it leave his bat. He just hits the absolute piss out of it. But it's one of those things where they are so deep. He bats leadoff for him, which is kind of interesting, but you want to get him as many at-bats as you can. The only thing, the Dodgers are unbelievable. The only thing that could really derail their season is if their superstars start to get hurt. So I understand that, like Jet said, like, hey, he really wants to pitch. He's a gamer, all that kind of stuff. But they have multiple starting pitchers who are like, quality starting pitchers who would be in anyone else's rotation who aren't really pitching right now just because they are so deep. So we'll see. I would imagine at some point in this year he might, get like a relief appearance or something like that. But as of right now, with how good they are, with how well he's hitting, it just, for me personally, it's tough to imagine that they're going to risk anything and send him out there to start a game.
I love that he's a part of baseball.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see the game grow.
Him and Judge right now are like Judge is, Shohei in terms of overall is the most popular player in the sport. He's a unicorn, all that stuff. Aaron Judge is in a period right now where like he's hitting like Barry Bonds did when he hit 73 home runs. Like, we may never see this again. He's hotter than a pistol, if you will. Yeah, so 2 homers on Sunday. He went 4 or 5.
That'd be hot to get to
Very hot, very hot. So, and again, he doesn't quite have the protection in the lineup that Shohei does, but you've said this time and time again, like, this is why baseball is kind of having a little bit of a comeback right now, is because the 2 best players in the sport are performing. And they do it day in and day out.
If superstars are either very likable or just kind of likable or very hateable, people will watch. And then if your superstars are performing well at the thing they're supposed to be good at, that's obviously gives credibility to your entire league.
Yeah.
Like, that is just kind of, I think, how viewers go about watching. And he's hitting what?
409 right now. He was 4 of 5 yesterday coming off his 2 home run performance on Saturday. So, and his on-base percentage is .494. So he's getting on base about half the time.
Video game.
Did you ever play baseball?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Wish.
AJ, did you play baseball?
Yeah, I played growing up, all the travel stuff.
Okay, so I went and watched the Little League games. It was a good time down there at Burrow Fields. It was a good time to hang out. Everybody would be coming through. There'd be a lot of people there. I never really played, though. Are those kids hitting 400? Like, when do you stop hitting 400s?
High school.
The good ones are. The good ones will.
There are probably like a handful of really, really good college players who will be like top 10 picks who are hitting 400. But for the like stud high school kids who will get drafted in the first round, those kids will be hitting above 400, 500. But like,
I'm saying that because they're taking on other high school pitchers.
Right.
Like, they're taking on guys that are not going to be college baseball pitchers. So you would assume that they'd have a higher success rate. So they're taking on 1, 2 D1 guys through the whole season, maybe. At least where, I don't know, in some places it's probably different.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, potentially D2, maybe 1 or 2 pros all year you're taking on. So you would think the hit rate would be much higher than like 40%, which is what 400 means. But it's like, I think 400 is like a comic book
without a
percentage of success in the MLB.
Yeah, I would say a really, really good high school baseball player who might play college baseball but like will never go play in the pros. Like, if they hit 330 or like 340 in high school, it's like, holy shit, that kid had an unbelievable year.
And that's taking on future insurance salesmen as pitchers.
Yeah.
This is I'm sorry, go ahead. You're about to give us
the last time someone has hit 400 was Ted Williams in 1941.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems absurd. All you hear is just 300 is good.
Teddy Boy.
Yeah, 300 is like Hall of Fame, they say.
300 is
400?
Yeah, power.
Yeah.
It's not like he just contact getting on base.
Yeah, you're right. He's not spraying.
Yeah, he's
he can.
Runs then.
What did this is gonna be bad that I don't remember his name.
Tony Gwynn?
Yes.
R.I.P. It was actually his birthday
Your lefty.
yesterday.
He had over 300 for like 19 straight years.
Rest in peace, Tony Gwynn.
What?
Pete Rose.
Tony Gwynn, dog. Yes. What
19 straight years?
Oh, yeah. He's
I
like
think every year but his
best,
rookie year, I believe.
Yeah, his strikeout numbers, too.
300?
Never struck out.
Dog. What city?
He played for the Padres.
Okay. Ichiro. There.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he was able to just kind of spray it, right? That was his thing?
Yeah, just like a pure hitter, and he's one of those.
What would he hit?
I mean, high 300s. Like I think his first season in the MLB when he won the MVP, I want to say he hit like 370 something.
372 was his highest.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
and he's like the known.
Yeah, they say he is like maybe one of like guys like Pete Rose, Tony Gwynn, but like
what was Pete Rose hitting?
I would say his highest was he's the hit king. I mean that was way before
That's what I'm saying.
my
Like
time.
400 just doesn't sound real. As somebody that just listens to people talk baseball, it's insane that he's doing it at the MLB, and he's also doing it against people that know he's doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Like hey, if we leave anything open here, he's going to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 348
Exactly.
was Pete Rose's highest.
Yeah, so it's I think a lot of people, and you could have this argument, but a lot of people say like the two records for all of sports, I guess you can add, Gretzky's, even though this just got broken, that they say will never be broken again, is Joe DiMaggio's hit streak, 56 games in a row getting a hit, and then also batting over 400 in a season. Like a lot of people say that'll never happen again.
And look at Aaron Judge. Go on, Judge.
Yeah, Judge.
We'll see if he can do it. It's May.
Go on, Judge. A lot of season left.
yeah, got a lot of at-bats left.
He's the only one, though. That's even close, right?
Yeah. I think the number 2 hitter in average is also on the Yankees, Paul Goldschmidt. He's batting like 356.
So the Yankees got to be doing good. You got two guys batting over 350?
They're in first place. It's just their pitching staff isn't great right now. It's real banged up. And
You were kind of bummed out earlier when you were talking about them letting down Aaron Judge. When you said it once again, they let down Judge, talking as if it was the Pirates and Skeens is what I thought. I thought it sounded like the Yankees were in a little bit of a drought. You're not saying that.
No, they won 2 out of 3, but they got a tough road trip here. They play the Mets coming up. They play the Dodgers coming up. So like they have and they play the Mariners tonight, who are also they've been very good. I was just saying you can't be wasting Judge 2 home run games. You can't be losing those.
Buccos
games.
are hot, by the way.
When is
Buccos are hot?
2-1 since firing their manager.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Let's go follow up. Let's wrap up the Yankees talk.
Is he on his way?
Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. He's been taking live BP.
Okay.
But he's one of those guys where if they send him back too early, like his elbow might explode. So
Too strong.
And we're gonna need that guy.
Too strong.
Exactly.
Need him come October.
Yeah, right.
September.
Both.
Okay.
Maybe
August?
November this year.
November. Yeah.
How about when's good time for like end of year push? August? When is it really?
Yeah, I'd say August. I mean, after the All-Star break is when things really start to heat up and it'll matter. So like mid-July.
So far away.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's a long way away.
Buccos are hot, though, you said?
Yeah, they're winning record since firing their manager, so.
Is what?
Yep.
They have a winning record since firing their manager.
Okay.
2-1.
2-1.
Skeens pitches today.
Their only loss was in extras, too, so they're hot.
Steen said, well, we're 12-40 right now? Thought somebody was going to get fired. Stinks that it's him, man. All right, man. That's basically what Skeens did the entire thing. We've got a chance to hang out with Skeens and meet Skeens. He is such a, that's what you're hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it is a shame. It feels like he's going to probably need to.
Yeah, he'll win somewhere else.
Get out of town.
Will he?
Oh, yeah,
Tony's starting to turn a bit.
Forgot about that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Tone.
Well, I can't get too attached because he's not going to be around very much longer. So.
Oh, so you're trying to just bury him now?
Yeah.
A lot of Pittsburgh doing that, or just you?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to anybody about that.
Yeah, but I think you're pretty, of at least some.
No, I assume I love the guy.
We all love the guy. That's what I told him, too. At Big Night Out, I literally told him, hey, the reason why they're doing this is because they know you're too good for this place.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
That's why they won't sell the team, so you'd be the face of the place for a long time. How many people have gone on from the Pirates and had massive success? Feels like a lot.
Yeah, quite a few.
It's like a lot.
Everybody.
Tyler Glass now.
Everybody loves the city, though. Everybody says Pittsburgh's awesome.
Well, Barry had success in Pittsburgh, too.
Everybody but Clemente's sign in the outfield.
Let's back up.
Yeah, they took down the Surfside thing.
I'm sure they did.
Is that guy doing all right?
He says he's going to be okay.
Also, Clemente
a little banged up.
Has a wall and a bridge and a statue. So
yeah, Clemente did a lot. He's a great man.
Yeah. Okay.
Great indicator for what the world was. They took down Surfside.
We'll see.
They did see it. I
We'll
think
see for how long.
It is delicious, by the way. But
Surfside? Tone was very, very torn.
He was.
As it was all happening.
Oh, that's why he's laying out the bridge.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, we've done enough." That's what he's. Let's not kill Surfside, please.
My summer drink so far.
Yeah, he's really. Yeah, Tone has ulterior motives in the entire thing, and it's because he tried Surfside and was like, "You know what? This one's pretty
delightful.
good. This one's pretty good." What else is happening in the sports world, AJ? Is that what you asked?
Yes, I did ask that, by the way. I did. What is happening in the sports world, Pat, that we haven't touched on?
Oh, that's a great question, AJ. Holy shit, thank you for asking. How about the Hockey World Championships that are happening in Sweden right now? If you do recall, Sidney Crosby at his stage of life signing up to play in this thing is wild. Oh, he came to let little Latvians know, oh, you come at one of their goats, you better expect a left to the jaw, 2 of them. He's bumping helmets over there in the World Championship. I love it. He's obviously been a guy that I tried to recruit to come play for the United States of America team. He obviously turned that down, signed up to play for Canada as soon as he possibly could. A lot of the lads are playing up there for Canada. They beat Latvia 7-1. 7-1. And one helmet got popped off by Sidney Crosby. Now, I go to former That's Hockey Talk podcast host, Nick Maraldo. Nick, who is this kid that he just punched in the face potentially? Where does he play? What is the level of competition at this World Championship? And I'd assume Canada is the heavy favorite in this tournament right now?
Typically, Canada and the U.S. are heavy favorites in these World Championships every year, and they'll even add guys as the playoffs go on and teams get eliminated. They'll even add guys from who are currently playing to their roster. I looked it up earlier. His name is Martin.
Martin, who gives a fuck?
That's not his name.
He does not play in the NHL. I believe he might still be playing, but he at least had a run in the Swedish Elite League, which is actually a high level of hockey. It's pretty good level. That's what professional league in Sweden, where a lot of guys before they come to the NHL play there before they get drafted. He's a bit older though. I think he's like 28. I think it was a DZ type of name. I don't know what sound that makes in Latvian. Maybe a J. Jurgles?
Okay. Yeah, maybe. We'll try to figure that out. Obviously, remember, Aluminum Padre, we learned Latin last week.
Yep.
We'll try to learn a little Latvian this week. But there's no way that dude, in his mind, thought to himself Sidney Crosby was going to punch him in the bucket.
No.
He had no thought. Is Canada just trying to stack championships right now, Gumpy? Is that what you guys are doing, loading up the roster?
Yeah, Maff is standing on his head over there. Unfortunately, Bedard didn't want to make the trip. I don't know what that's all about, but we got some big guns over there.
What do you mean?
McKinnon's over there from the Avalanche, all the studs, but Bedard didn't want to go. So
Wait, didn't want to go, or he wasn't on the team?
He chose not to go.
Because remember, Tom Wilson wasn't invited to play for Team Canada, so I told him he could come play for the United States of America. I guess that's not how it works. Connor Bedard was invited to play for this team?
Yeah, I think he announced that he didn't want to go before Crosby and McKinnon said they were going.
Oh, so he immediately regretted his decision. Because would this normally be something that Sidney Crosby, McKinnon, Marc-Andre Fleury would be doing?
Zero chance.
So this is like a take the tractor another round type operation
One
here
more
with
for the
Sid
Gipper.
and the boys?
Yeah.
Feel bad.
I respect it.
Why is Connor Bedard allowed to say, you know what, I didn't know this was going to be...
Yeah, they'll take him.
Absolutely.
Feel bad for
Go ahead.
Sid? You feel bad for Sid because he has to play for Canada?
Yeah, he should be in the playoffs.
That's not what he
now.
said.
All right?
I
He
feel
should be
bad.
in the NHL playoffs, right? Making a run at another one of these. But he's out here, popping lids. What's the guy's Martin?
Guy loves the game of hockey. All right, he just wants to be on the ice.
And that's why he should be compete for a chip. You guys need to do right by him.
What do you mean do right by him?
You guys need to do
right
what?
by him.
If you listen to what McKinnon's saying, I think it's more likely that McKinnon might ask out of Colorado, not Crosby. out of Pittsburgh.
Coming home?
Oh, he's coming back to Pittsburgh.
He's not happy that they got rid of Rantanen, dude. He is pissed.
Yeah, well, there's good reason. Rantanen's doing his thing right now in the playoffs. I didn't know Pittsburgh was potentially picking up
McKinnon's coming home, pal.
I didn't know that. Dubas is already working behind the scenes.
Dubas.
I love what Dubas is doing. Hey, he looked incredibly fly when we saw him.
Yeah, he looks great, but he hasn't done shit.
What do you mean he hasn't done shit? He just got rid of Sully. He's moving on. He already did the transition. Now Sully would go on to immediately get the highest paid contract to become.
Hey, at least Dubas didn't trade away, our lifelong beloved best player.
Oh, you're talking about what's potentially going on in Boston?
Yeah.
Don't.
How about Marshy earning his tail down there in Florida?
They love him down there
Too
too,
soon,
man.
Tony.
I saw them eating sushi together.
Oh, yeah.
Just fit right in.
They said as soon as he got into the group chat, he started chirping.
Classic Marshy.
Classic Marshy.
He's one of the goats.
Levy said Chucky's not
100%.
Healthy.
He's worried about him.
What is that groin from Four Nations?
Probably.
Who won that one?
Canada.
I mean,
all right.
Kachuk has played a lot of hockey, though, man. Think about the runs that the Panthers have went on. You usually get that All-Star break, gives it all at the Four Nations. Like, it takes its toll, man.
Yeah, hockey's a tough sport.
Yeah, who's healthy who's 100% healthy in the playoffs?
Nobody.
Damn near nobody.
Hockey's insane. Here's the injury report from our team the day after everybody is eliminated from the playoffs. Yeah, every guy on our team had at least one broken bone.
Internal bleeding.
Guy had a fractured maybe leg. I think he had a broken leg.
Hedman did in the first round.
The captain of Tampa Bay, one of their best players.
That was this year, yeah.
Remember
Broken leg.
Kachuk against the Golden Knights the year they lost? He had like a broken sternum. They're like, yeah, we had to fucking pick him up and put his skates on. He couldn't do it on his own.
Go on, lad.
His dad and his brother.
Go on, lad.
So you got to have depth. All sports playoffs.
Got to have depth.
Oh, yeah.
They got a hard salary cap over there, though. You know, that's what Ryan Smith said. Got to operate a little differently. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins bringing in McKinnon is not a bad idea at all.
Great idea.
I think that's a great idea. I don't know where you heard that, Gumpy, if you're just making that up. But if that being said, McKinnon, you'll love Pittsburgh. You'll love Pittsburgh.
Don't worry. You never go. I got a better chance lacing them up for the Penguins than McKinnon.
Dubas ain't signing you to a fucking deal.
Good. I ain't playing for Duke piss.
Happy birthday to Hazy, by the way. Happy birthday to Hazy.
Hazy.
What a legend giving us a tour around the building there. Just literally like, yeah, come on, let's walk this way. Trying to negotiate himself a deal the entire time. He was awesome.
Classic Hazy.
How many years has he been in the league?
Long time. Over a decade, I feel
10, 11.
Yeah, he played at BC forever ago.
He was limping because Letang hit him with a slap shot right in his foot in the game that they beat the hell out of the Chicago Blackhawks. Blackhawks didn't touch the puck for a minute and a half, 2 minutes on equal.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
His 11th year. This year.
He's looking for 14 from what I heard. All right, what else is going on in the sports world as we wrap this thing up on this glorious Overreaction Monday? AJ Hawk, I don't know if you heard or not, Ohio State's men's lacrosse team is no longer in the championship hunt after Notre Dame absolutely slaughters Ohio State. Chris Kavanaugh, the youngest of the Kavanaugh family. The Kavanaugh family is obviously the family that we are most synonymous with the sport of lacrosse. Big Kavanaugh actually just announced his retirement from the Boston Cannons. Thank you to Big Kavanaugh for leading the way. Now, Chris Kavanaugh has been tasked with leading this Notre Dame team after Kavanaugh run through a national championship Notre Dame squad has taken place. Chris Kavanaugh had a hat trick and 2 assists.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's doing A-okay. And this Notre Dame team is already back-to-back national champions. They're looking to go for 3 straight. That's dynastic talk. And it's not just the Kavanaugh boys. Obviously, we got a chance to meet Devin and all the other boys that were on the team numerous occasions up there at Notre Dame. They got good moxie. I got their...
There it is.
I got the bucket right there.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
A golden dome?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
So, people say I'm bandwagon. Fucking right. I'm with the Kavanaughs. Chris Kavanaugh is about to lead the way. His first appearance on our show was with, a massive shiner?
Yeah, exactly.
And he was trying to get in the back of a shot.
Still hammered.
What's going on, boys?
Mm-hmm.
These boys love lacrosse.
Love lacrosse. Jordan Faison, the slot receiver for Notre Dame Irish, he had a goal yesterday as well. And then their new goalie, I believe he had 15 saves or something.
What's good?
Which is unbelievable.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, shit, anything from...
Every time they put shots on goal for the hockey thing, I always try to compare the two, obviously. That's all you can really do. But I don't know what's a lot and what's a little. You know, I don't know what they should... We need a denominator.
Yeah, typically it's exactly. Typically it's percentage. Like, you're not even looking at number of shots. It's just percentage of saves. Just because some of them are muffins at the end of the period where someone's throwing it the entire way. But yeah, Big Ten, bad day for them. Real bad day. Them and now Penn State has to play Notre Dame next week, and if Penn State loses, the Big Ten dead in the NCAA tournament.
What happened to Michigan? Didn't Michigan win the Big Ten championship?
They did not make it.
They won the Big Ten championship.
They did not make it to the tournament. I don't know if they won the
regular
Big Ten
season
championship. I don't know if they won.
I don't think so.
The Big Ten championship.
What? Yeah.
This is the NCAA tournament, right? Isn't this the lacrosse NCAA tournament?
Yeah. I don't know if Michigan won it. The biggest upset of the weekend was Richmond lacrosse beating North Carolina. I think
the Spiders.
The Spiders, yeah.
I think Michigan lost. Looks like they lost in the first round to Rutgers.
They got beat by Rutgers.
Rutgers got a good team. Remember,
They
Bill
do.
Belichick was scouting them every single offseason.
In the Big Ten tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
So weren't they the Big Ten champs, though? Is that the regular season?
They were the 4th seed.
No, they weren't then.
Ohio State was the Big Ten regular season champs.
Congrats, Ohio State.
Michigan did beat Maryland
when we went Roots, kid.
Bingo.
Okay. So this is the Penn State's the last Big Ten team?
Yes.
Oh, you guys are about to get run out of the tournament.
We got some ACC, Ivy.
Yale's supposed to win it, right?
Yale, I think, is out Princeton, and Cornell's the 1 seed.
Cornell.
Yeah. Princeton and Cornell are left. Syracuse.
Here we go.
Duke lost.
Here's the NCAA men's lacrosse ranking. It was Cornell was 1, Maryland was 2. Okay. Princeton.
We got a bracket if you want to go. If you want to pull up the bracket like an old school, just to see what's left.
We got to find that.
Because I know Duke. Some of those teams didn't end up finishing with that number. It's on NCAA.com. But like
Denver
Duke,
not in there, con man?
What?
Denver didn't make it?
No, Denver didn't make it.
Neither did Army. People
there
are
it
pissed
is.
about Army
Yeah,
not being on there.
So that's the top of the bracket right there. Yeah, Duke losing to Georgetown is pretty massive.
That is massive.
That's the top. If you scroll, the bottom's on the other side with Notre Dame and Penn State and
Syracuse still in there?
I believe
Looks
so.
like
Yeah, they got
They got Princeton.
They got Victoria Shamrocks legend Gary Gate coaching them. So,
Yeah, the Gate. Yeah,
Big Gate. Yeah.
Harvard almost had him too. That would have been a huge upset.
13-12, what a battle. Penn State squeaked by Colgate.
Oh.
Holy hell.
Colgate went on a hell of a run. They were not supposed to win their league. They're the ones that beat Army. They won their, I think, their Patriot League conference, and then they damn near beat Princeton.
Penn State.
Oh, Penn State, excuse me.
Yeah, we got it. We're on the same side. I saw Colgate do their thing. Towson, they got their shit kicked.
Yeah. That's Towson.
Yeah, it's Fairfield's.
Good school.
That's Fairfield conference. Should have been Fairfield. Well, what are you gonna do?
Lacrosse, good sport.
Good sport.
I don't know if we'll ever be able to.
Well, that's what
sport of the future, right?
You help grow the sport.
Well,
Yeah, I can't wait to see the fruits of that labor.
I do think like spreading the sport is good for the sports world because I think lacrosse is a good sport.
Yeah.
I think it could be a good sport. I think a lot of body types can play that sport, you know? So I think there's a lot of untapped potential in the sport of lacrosse. For me, it's tough for me to. The Kavanaugh's basically
The Kavanaughs, yeah.
The PLL, the NLL I learned of, they got some awesome shit. They did a little thing. It's going to be in the Olympics, so I assume it'll have a big growth during the Olympics whenever people are talking about it. So we might be on the precipice here of a potential run for the sport of lacrosse.
Well, I was saying to AJ over the weekend, like I'm pumped Notre Dame won, pulling for Notre Dame, but schools like Ohio State and Michigan and those types of Penn State, them getting really good at lacrosse will help a lot just because those are bigger. Like Ohio State's, it's a Midwest Ohio. Like if they get really good, then it'll get bigger in Ohio. Just like Michigan, then it'll get bigger in Michigan. Like when Denver won the national championship, that was a big deal because, I don't think anybody to the west of North Carolina had ever won the national championship. So the better those schools get, the better it will be for the game. But it's so much East Coast.
Good sport. What are we're watching NLL style Olympics lacrosse?
Yeah, but it's outside, so I think.
So it's a mix between box and outside.
Yeah, it's more box lacrosse, but it.
Who
will
would
be.
favor?
Us? USA, baby.
That's what I thought. Are all the Kavanaughs playing? Is old buddy coming out of retirement to play?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Big Kavanaugh?
Big Kavanaugh.
Big Matty Kavanaugh, yeah.
Big medium Kavanaugh. Medium Kavanaugh. Young Kavanaugh.
Sure.
We need him.
Need them all.
Liam playing?
Father Kavanaugh's coming back.
Yeah, Papa Kavanaugh.
I don't know if you saw, Elias's brother showed up.
Yes, he
did.
That was awesome.
Did you see him?
Out for big.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of the family, honestly.
Yeah, well, I don't know where anybody's at. Elijah did not address that.
I'm worried about why he didn't address it.
What's that all about?
Kill him.
No, they're a tight family. We saw them all at the hospital.
I saw that picture at the hospital. Yeah, they seem to be doing great. Oh, yeah, here we go.
There's Elijah.
Where is
Elijah wasn't there that day. He had a gig.
Who's the little guy in the hat again?
I thought that was Elijah.
Eric?
A few years ago.
I'm happy to see this family is still shining through Elijah's light.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of people wanted to walk with him, it sounded like.
What's the piss jug?
What's that?
What's with the piss jug? Did you guys add that in?
Catheter.
No, that's, health, bro. Come on, you don't get it. All right,
Look, Grandpa holds it. Grandpa holds your dong in the piss jug for you. That's how close they are.
What's wrong with you?
Jeez Louise. Why you got to always
Then
be
what
so
is that?
weird?
What is that representing then?
He's about to rehydrate.
You never been to a hospital?
Why is he?
Not like this.
And that might not be piss. That might be vitamins and stuff that's coming through the
For
IV.
sure.
Apple
Yeah, you just
juice.
put it in one of those piss tubes. Yeah.
Ezekiel's
That's how it
favorite
goes.
drink was apple juice.
Yeah.
We're happy to see Elijah, is all I'm saying. And I've never met Elijah. Elias grew up near us. Nick was damn near tight with the family. Elijah, I think, a little bit more of a loner, I think, from the family.
Yeah, I never met him either. We used to run around with Elrod a lot, but we never met Elijah out there.
Elrod was stern, but fair, I'd say. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm not throwing that. My shoulder hurts so bad.
Yeah, for real.
Rest.
Appreciate you all so much. We'll be back tomorrow with a big show. Tomorrow's going to be a big show.
Massive.
Huge.
What do we got tonight, sports-wise?
Celtics, Knicks, obviously.
Boom!
There it is.
Celtics, Knicks, 7:30. Timberwolves, Golden State, 10 o'clock. And then in hockey, Capitals try to get back and even the series against 20,000 Caniacs, brother. After a 4-0 slaughtering. And then the Vegas Golden Knights, Oilers. Ty, stay up for that one, pal.
I'm going to try.
Need this one.
Let that one go into overtime, maybe double overtime.
Yeah, I'd love a regulation in that one. Maybe not all the way to the end of the overtime period.
Then Monday Night Raw on Netflix live from Louisville, Kentucky. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. We're in this thing together. I appreciate you all so much. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.